Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Against the Ropes podcast. Gio Garcia here. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda. Episode
Hey.
number 121, the AtR podcast, back in the building.
We're
Right?
back. Yeah, we're back in the building, back in our home studios. 121.
Home court
Hey.
advantage.
Home court advantage. Man.
Yeah, man. Big weekend in boxing.
Yeah.
Halloween was crazy this year.
Yeah, it was.
All right, trick or treating was canceled, but there was a lot of good boxing. And our apologies if the stream is buffering a little bit there. I'm not sure if you guys can see this okay. I might have to restart the stream. I'm not sure, but we'll see how long it goes here. We are live, so not too much we can do. But yeah, man. I just want to start the show, Chris, with a big shout out to Puro Golpe.
Hey.
All right. Shout out to our guy Jesse from Puro Golpe. Make sure to follow them at www.purogolpe.com. I messed that up, huh?
Puro golpe.
Make sure to follow them at Puro Golpe Instagram and check out the shop at www.purogolpe.com. And also, I wanted to make a quick announcement before we get started. So some of you may know the YouTube channel is monetized now. So there is a thing called super chats on the chat box there. I'm not too well informed, honestly, but I do know that people can make donations and all that stuff. But I just wanted to tell everybody that any donations that you guys do make to the channel, we will be donating that money. All right. Most likely to amateur boxers. We do know that there's some big national tournaments coming up. So we would like to make some donations. So any money that you guys do donate to the channel, we will be donating that. So any help will be greatly appreciated, right, Chris?
Yeah, it's not easy on being an amateur. Again, there's not a lot of funding. It's very hard to get money. Some of these fighters are working full time. Their trainers are working full time. So it is very difficult. So yeah, again, like Gio mentioned, anything that we can muster up together for them, it means the world to them. Again, these are youngsters that are either again working full time or they're going to school, and so they don't have a lot of time to be getting money, and they don't get that same love that some of the fighters that are established get. So yeah, whatever you guys can donate, we will take that in and then find these fighters that need that support for sure.
Yeah, and we'll make sure to let you guys know who we're donated to exactly. Just so you guys know. I think it's good to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. I mean, it's holiday season, so why not, right?
Exactly.
Why not? We do want to donate like any of the money that we're getting from YouTube now. It's not going to be a lot, but anything helps, right? Anything helps. Like you said, Chris, a lot of these parents, they're working very, very hard to try to get their son, their daughter to the Olympics or qualify for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So if there's anything we can do to help, and if there's anything you guys can do to help as well, we would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, that's that, man. That's that. And I feel like this is a good time to get the show started. All right?
Dude, a lot to cover.
Man.
This was that weekend in boxing. Obviously, the day was Halloween, October 31st. But weeks out, we were like, dude, all these fights are getting moved to this date. Like, how are we gonna balance watching all these fights? Not just the local fights, some of these guys fighting in Mexico, but the more established names and stuff in the sport. So yeah, I'll let you start off, Gio. What are we starting with? What fight are we tackling first?
Yeah, and let us know if you guys are experiencing any buffering issues from your home. I'm getting some warnings here. It says good connection, but I'm not sure. I'm getting some warnings here, but hope it's okay for you guys. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully. All right.
Okay, I'm still on, showing it's. Again, we are sharing connection, so maybe that's where the lag is coming. But
Yeah, is it buffering a little bit?
mine's still going, but it's just going a little slow.
All right, I'll try to change some of the settings here, and then we'll see if it gets a little better. I'm not sure if it'll let me. But yeah, anyway, we'll try to continue the stream here. Like we said, Alexander Usyk against Derek Chisora was the headliner in London. So I feel like we should start with that. Nothing major on the undercard, right? I think Lee Selby against Cambosos.
Yeah, that's
the scorecards were very interesting, to say the least.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Did you catch that fight?
I didn't catch too much of that fight.
Honestly, I had it in the background. I A lot of people were saying that it was a boring fight.
Mm.
I wasn't too entertained by it, but the scorecards were a little wide. I know one
Okay.
had it. The first judge had it for Selby, and then I think by a wide margin, if I'm not mistaken, and
Mm-hmm.
then the other two had it for Cambosos. Interesting though, very very interesting. Let us know how you guys had it if you guys scored it from home. You know, I thought I thought the scorecards looked interesting. I know that the zone commentators mentioned that they had Lee Selby up
Hmm.
in the fight, so the scorecards were definitely interesting. But other than that, I didn't see anything too major on that undercard. And then, of course, the main event, everybody was waiting for it, right?
Yeah.
Uh, was Frankie one of the doubters?
I think
A little bit, huh?
a little bit. Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been doubting Usyk in the
Mhm.
heavyweight division. It looks like our connection is back and running now. Kind of mess with some settings here. Hopefully, it's better.
Mhm.
Doesn't look like it's buffering now, but yeah. But anyway, to continue, Usyk, a lot of people, were maybe concerned about his power. How was he
Mhm.
going to take a heavyweight's
Yeah.
punch? Things like that. Was his size going to hold up? I think there's no question about his skill, but
Yeah.
people wanted to see how that was going to translate into the heavyweight division,
Mhm.
and he did struggle a little bit, Chris.
Yeah.
He did struggle a little bit.
The first rounds, obviously, like it's a feel out round, right? Especially for the smaller heavyweight and Usyk. But Chisora knew that he was gonna try to make it messy, make it a la
Yeah.
Maidana, right? Try to just rough him up, impose his power and his size, and
Yeah.
you kind of just saw like Usyk kind of like struggle a little bit, and so yeah, that's some of the things I noticed in his last fight against little known Witherspoon,
Mhm.
right? I saw him getting tagged
Yeah.
by the bigger fighter, and so that's what I noticed. I mean, I don't know if you saw the mid rounds. He started to take over again. You say his skills never been in question. His skill
Yeah.
is unmatched, I think, in the heavyweight division, and so he started taking over. But that just kind of you leave that fight with that we call it sabor de boca, that it's like, man, maybe he's chewing a little bit too much in that heavyweight division, which is
Yeah.
really a super heavyweight division if you really had to break it
Big
down.
boys. Chisora's what, 250 pounds?
Yeah,
Maybe.
big guy.
And it's very interesting. You mentioned Maidana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a call from her. I can't
Mm.
take that. Sorry. It's from actually the boxing trainer,
Oh shoot.
Coach G. Sorry if you're
Dang,
tuned
Coach
in. I
G.
can't
Okay.
answer. But yeah, you mentioned Maidana,
Mm-hmm.
and it was interesting because around this time I was actually live on the stream for the fights in Tijuana. I had
Okay.
just started the stream, and we were
Okay.
talking about the fight, and somebody mentioned that that Chisora was too sloppy with his punches,
Hmm.
right? Wide punches and things like that. And I'm like, I feel like that type of fighters was going to take for someone to beat a guy like Usyk,
Yeah, skill
right?
fighter. Yeah.
Especially in the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
Heavyweight, I know it's a little different, but I'm like, hey, he might have a chance because, like you said, he does throw a lot of punches, a lot of times wild.
Yeah.
But if he catches Usyk with it, we'll see what his chin is made of, right?
Yeah.
Never seemed like he caught him like that,
Cleanly.
but he did make him work. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, Usyk takes the UD. I think rightfully so, but respect to Derek Chisora for making this a fight. And I feel like
Yeah.
we all expected that, right? Even though he
Yeah.
had 9 losses prior to this, I
Mhm.
think we all expected him to go all out.
Yeah. That's a character in Chisora. I don't know if you saw the pre-fight, press conference. He was just kind of making it a spectacle, and that's how he was gonna come into the fight. Just pretty much just throw out the kitchen sink. And yeah, he did gas out mid rounds, late rounds. He kind of brought it back a little bit at the end, but yeah, that's the type of fighter that he is. That's the type of fight that that was his strategy to try to impose that skill, like that power and that size. Again, you mentioned, nothing really clean landed. But who knows what if something would have landed? We would have maybe have seen, Usyk have to dig deep and show his survival skills, or his how does a great fighter go through an adversity like that. But now again, the skills paid the bills, and UD. Again, a lot of people go off, walking away thinking, he escaped this guy because this guy doesn't have the same skills as a Anthony Joshua or a Tyson Fury and stuff. So I think at least people, thinking he can't with the top 3. What do you think, Gio? Do you leave with that sensation, or or what?
I'm not sure. I think he can still compete with those top 3 or top 4
Yeah.
in the heavyweight division. However, my sensation was like, I hope now they want to fight him more because I feel like
Okay.
people were
Makes
saying
sense.
that, okay, he's not ready for these big men. And I don't know, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. I don't know. But my feeling was like, hopefully they want to fight him now.
Yeah.
Hopefully now they're like, oh, look, he looks vulnerable.
Yeah.
If Chisora could take him to 12 rounds, I can do that and beat him or even possibly get a knockout, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like, hopefully this persuades them to want to get in the ring with Usyk.
I feel like this is like the year. I mean, it's boxing, but this is the year of like the good big guy beats the great little guy. So I think it's that moment. A year ago when we were talking about heavyweights, there was really only 3 big names: Joshua, Wilder, Fury.
What about Reese, bro?
Oh yeah, Reese.
Didn't
okay,
you
Reese.
rate him number 1
Okay,
at one point?
No, I didn't. Never rated.
Come on.
Never rated him number 1.
Say it with your chest.
No, I never rated him number 1. But this kind of, if you see the box rec where they rank, the top heavyweights, it's Tyson Fury, Joshua Wilder, Usyk, and then Andy Ruiz. So these are he's in that mix of top 5. So that makes the division interesting.
Let me ask you this: what
Go.
was the highest you rated Andy Ruiz?
The highest, I think, the highest I rated him at one time was second. Second only to Fury, because Fury has fought everybody and beaten everybody. And I think
Bang.
I know this. I know and Joshua's skills are more, but Joshua just didn't fight anybody the way Wilder and Fury did. So, but yeah, that's enough. I think that's enough time talking about Reese, right? That's all he gets.
Yeah, that's it.
until he gets back in the
So,
mix.
yeah. Shout out to Sean, man.
Hey.
Sean from the Just Boxing
Oh, thank you, brother.
Foundation. Oh, he says happy belated birthday
Thank you, brother.
with a
Appreciate
balloon and a cake. Look at that.
Damn.
Nice.
Thanks.
How old are you now, Chris? Or
30.
you don't want to? Oh,
30.
dude, I was gonna play it
guessing
off
game?
for you, man.
Nah,
I was gonna be
30.
like, oh,
30's a new 20. Something
Right.
like that.
yeah, man.
Hey.
I don't know. It seems like people, I don't know, maybe because people are having kids later nowadays.
Yeah.
Like people just seem younger now. Like
I
I'm
think-
almost 30, and people,
And-
I'm pretty sure wouldn't like guess that.
Yeah, you look probably like what people say, 23?
I get all
24?
types of
Yeah.
ages,
I
from
don't-
like 17 to like 24.
I think
four,
since
maybe. I don't know.
I think since I've been 25, people are like, "You're already 30, bro." I'm like, dude, I don't even feel 30. I don't even feel like that
They don't
mature.
feel. It doesn't feel.
I don't. I feel like I don't feel that mature. Like I think at 30 you should be more mature, right? Get everything a little bit more situated. But nah, it's all good though.
As long as you feel young, it's all good. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was yeah.
I was gonna say I think the kid factor also, like you don't have kids, you don't not a whole lot of responsibility.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. People by 30, my mom already had all 3 of us,
Dude, yeah.
that was already old.
Yeah.
Like she had me at 30, and she felt like that was already too old.
Yeah, I think it's
That's
just
crazy.
different generations. My mom, I think at 24 had all 3 of us.
Dang.
I'm like, dang, okay. Generations, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But all right, I think that's all I have on Usyk. I like I said, I hope after this performance, people are like, okay, I want to fight him now. He's not
Yeah.
that big of a threat. And I feel like he can challenge all those guys. Honestly, it'll be very, very interesting because there's no boxer like him. I feel like even Tyson Fury. I feel like Usyk uses his legs more. Tyson Fury's more head and waist movement.
Yeah, I think so. Agree.
But Usyk is more moving around the ring. He's gonna use the whole ring against you,
Yeah.
and he's gonna hit and move. That's his game plan. So, man, I still feel like he's a very interesting heavyweight. Will he win a championship? Man, that's the question right now.
Yeah. Who do you? I mean, I think it becomes Joshua's mandatory, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
I believe so.
Yeah. Does he go after him right away though, or do you think there's some step aside money and you have Joshua?
Yeah, because everybody wants to see Joshua against Fury.
Yeah.
That's a fight, not just the UK. I feel like everybody around the world wants to see that. And it's going to be interesting because Wilder seems a little out of it now. We can get into that a little bit later toward the end of the show. But yeah,
he gets his own section, man, just because of the. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. But that's all I have on that Saturday early day for us, right? Early day for us in the UK. I feel bad for you guys because you guys had to stay up to watch Inoue, right? And Santa Cruz. So about 10 p.m. here, What is that over there?
Is that 9 hours ahead?
6 a.m.?
I think
7 a.m.?
something like that.
Man.
Real fans saw that one for sure.
For real.
I know that British fans are some of the best fans out there, not just for their people, but just for the sport of boxing as a whole. So, for me, where does Usyk? I know Joshua's mandatory, and I did mention though the 3-headed heavyweights are the ones that are, I think. Other than, I don't know, we'll talk about Wilder a little bit later.
Yeah, we'll get into that toward the end of the show.
But I would like to see Usyk fight an Ortiz who's fighting this Saturday, or a Povetkin first before he takes on these guys. I think that they're named fighters. I think they're reasonable size heavyweights for him, and I would like to see him against them before he takes on the 3 bigs. But yeah,
Against who? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Povetkin or Ortiz.
Povetkin, who just tested positive, right?
Right.
Not for what you guys think. He tested positive for the virus this time.
Yes, for the
right?
virus.
We know he tends to test positive, but this time it's for the virus. And we can get into that a little bit toward the end of the show. But that's Usyk. Shout out to Jesus, who was tuned in also to the live show from Tijuana. He says, "Que onda? Leo's a 126-pounder and very flaco."
Very flaco.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But before we get into Leo Santa Cruz, unless you have something to add on Usyk, you have anything to add on
I think
Usyk?
that's it. I mean,
I think that's it, huh?
That's
The
it.
zone. That was the zone. Very good start to the day. Honestly, I kind of enjoyed it. I think I kind of stayed in bed throughout the whole day because I was just like, I'm gonna just watch some boxing and eat, drink some water, all that good stuff.
I was on the
Stay
road.
healthy.
I was on the road, like hearing the bout.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, I mean, you didn't miss too much, honestly.
Okay,
You didn't
good.
miss too much.
Yeah.
But that was Usyk. That was the zone. And then later on in the day, we had ESPN Top Rank, the Monsters return to the USA.
Hey.
And I told you, Chris, this was the fight that I was most excited about.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing major on the undercard, right?
Nothing big.
Nothing
big. No, no.
memorable.
Nothing big. You can say.
But I'm gonna be honest. I was the first couple rounds of Leo Santa Cruz against Tank Davis, and I'm sorry, I took a pause because I read Jesus' comment that he says Casemiro beats Inoue.
Oh, come on now. All right, we'll talk about it.
I don't think anybody beats Inoue, honestly, right now at his weight. But I mean, that's a good discussion right there.
Yeah.
But honestly, when the first couple rounds, because the fight wasn't over yet between Inoue and Moloney, I was still watching that fight instead of the Leo Santa Cruz Gervonta Davis first couple rounds. I'm gonna be honest, just because you saw the knockout kind of coming, and I'm like, I don't want to miss it, so I was more tuned into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, just to get straight into the main event, they're at the bubble at the MGM. I think it was a great ESPN debut for Inoue.
Mm-hmm.
I think he lived up to the hype, and I think most people had that question, right? Is he going to be able to perform under the brightest lights in the world, right? Japan is a huge stage, and I was thinking about that when he came out because it was so weird that there were no fans watching Inoue because you see the huge shows in Japan and the big entrances, and it's all like pretty cool to see. And now you see Inoue in the bubble, no fans making that entrance, and with a spectacular performance, in my opinion. And he got the knockout at the end of the day. And I think I didn't expect anything more or anything less from him. Chris, I don't know about you.
Yeah, for me, like a knockout's a knockout. You're fighting a top, one of the top 10 guys in your division. A knockout's a knockout. It's not easy to get a knockout against any of the top guys. So when you do, that speaks volumes. I know he was getting a lot of hate because a lot of people were like, it took you 7 rounds. A lot of people were like, a lot of people maybe like, it's just like our viewer, a lot of people were like, it took too long. 7 rounds. I was expecting more, but you brought up some good points, Joe. He was fighting away from home, no fans. Again, the pressure is real. You're fighting away with, in the States.
Ask Anthony Joshua.
This is the holy grail.
Ask any Brit.
Holy grail. Yeah, ask anybody. Yeah. The U.S. is a holy grail. Like, you really don't know how good you are until you're tested out here. The pressure's on. You're not fighting just against the opponent, but against the crowd here. There's no crowd this time, but
yeah, but you're still gonna have people doubting you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe in Japan, 90% of the people are like, Inoue is our guy.
Yeah.
right? He's the best Japanese fighter at the moment. We're gonna back him up.
Mm-hmm.
But here, everyone's kind of skeptical. Like, all right, let's see what he has.
Yeah, and again, you're fighting anybody that's gonna fight the top guy. They're gonna bring it's gonna be like their best camp. It's gonna be them at their best. Not when it's not like the Jason Moloney that fought whoever he fought in his 5th fight. It's the best fighting for a title. So I think he did. I think he did a good performance. If I had to rate, I'd say 8 or 9 out of 10. Again, no, in a way, he is his biggest critic. So. He said, I think for the Nonito fight, he wasn't completely satisfied with his performance.
And Jesus brought that up, too, here on the live chat.
Okay.
He says a Filipino almost beat him, of course, referring to Donaire. Donaire has, or maybe not, he says a Filipino almost beat him. Donaire has power, and Casimiro has legit power. And I think we talked about this going into the fight. I still remember this conversation because we were still... not necessarily doubting Inoue against Donaire, but we were, because a lot of people didn't give Donaire a chance, right?
Yeah.
And we're saying he still has the power, he still has a size advantage over Inoue, and he's a veteran, so he has his tricks in there. He has his tricks. Exactly. He's gonna be witty, and we know he's gonna land some punches. Let's see how Inoue can take them, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's the advantage that a guy like Donaire would have over a guy like Casimiro, right?
Yeah.
And Donaire, he took the punch as well. I think a lot of it had to do with his size. Obviously, the body punch that he went down with was brutal.
Yeah.
Right? But Donaire has tons of heart, stayed in the fight, kept going, ultimately lost. But I think he won even with the loss. Like I feel like if you think about Hall of Fame, like you even think about this performance by Donaire to make a case for him. Being a future Hall of Famer. Yeah. Which is crazy because he lost the fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, with anytime you're fighting a guy that's ranked up there, you're gonna bring your best, the best version of yourself. No one ever about the best version of himself for that fight at that age, and yeah, he's bringing up Casimiro. There's a reason why in the post interview, Inoue mentioned Casimiro and still Nonito. Because Nonito's still one of the highest ranked for the belt.
And he's still fighting for a belt, right? And from what I read,
that's right.
I read that Inoue wanted the winner of that Donaire fight.
And the French
opponent. I'm pretty sure he has, quote unquote, some unfinished business there because of the way that the first fight happened. He ended up with a broken nose, eye socket. Like he ended up with so many injuries and so much pain and suffering in that fight that I feel like he kind of wants it back and wants to stop Donaire this time.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of people say like, oh, Nonito. I've heard these comments where they said Nonito exposed them with. It's like no, it was just a vintage like Nonito giving, one of his best fights even in the twilight of his career.
Yeah. And he was wearing the Goku colors, so exactly. That gives you like +2.
He was like a Super Saiyan, so then he just fell short.
And he was going down in weight. Let's not forget that he went down in weight for that WBSS tournament. I believe is the letters, the acronym for it. I'm not sure, but he went down in weight, come back. Give a lot of credit to Nonito for that. But I mean, it was a great fight against Donaire. I mean, against Inoue. I mean, I don't feel like you can take credit away from any of the two fighters from that fight, honestly.
I know on our last podcast, our guest,
shout out to Frankie.
I know he did a hot take, and he's like, no, Inoue's not up there. He's not up there. He said not even top 10, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah, he said he avoided some of the best fighters in that.
He had a good point, though.
He did, he brought up a good point. And I
don't think he said avoided, but I think he just said he didn't fight.
He just didn't fight
the top, or the champions at the time.
And so I was like, all right, I'll take that. Okay, I'm gonna be open to hearing that.
And I kind of joked like, or are we talking about Inoue, or are we talking about the Charlos, of course, because he's a Charlo fan.
Yeah. So like, I kind of see his point. I think, I do kind of think people do rate Inoue pretty high because I'm hearing people have him like top 2, top 3.
Yeah,
I think he's in the 4th, 5th, or 6th spot. I think
I have him.
What do you have?
I think I have him 2 now.
Damn, that high.
Honestly.
Oh, man. You're going to get chewed out, bro.
It's all good. I mean, I believe in my list. Honestly, because 1 and 2, obviously Canelo first, and then I had Lomachenko second.
Mm.
Now, I feel like everybody after that was,
Yeah.
I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I feel like everybody after that was so far behind them
Mm.
that I only had like Inoue and Fury after them.
Okay.
And even a lot of people don't like the Fury pick, but I do believe he beat Deontay Wilder twice.
Yeah.
And then he got the Klitschko win and
Mm-hmm.
just his skill level. But,
Yeah.
I mean, it's all...
Yeah.
It's all opinions, right?
Yeah.
But I do have Inoue very high up there.
Yeah.
And I also... But it's tough because Frankie does have a point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not going to be fighting like the top name fighters like Gervonta Davis against Leo Santa Cruz. That's an A-level fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if Inoue is going to get a fight like that because even Casemiro, yeah, very good fighter, but...
He's known in the boxing circles, but he's
Yeah.
not known
If
to be an elite or like a...
If they put
big
that
name.
fight on ESPN and Inoue knocks him out, people are gonna be like, he
Yeah.
knocked out just a whatever guy, you know.
Yeah. You kind of put him in this, like, if you think of the Inoue's previous fights, the Payano and the
See, Jesus
Rodriguez.
says number 2, right?
Okay, number 2.
And who would you put number 2, Jesus? That's my question.
Yeah, how would you... Yeah.
All right.
For me, I would say Canelo. Then I would put... I know
See,
you-
who's
I-
number 2?
Number 2 is a little bit more, you know. I still put... I know you're not going to like this, bro. I know you don't like it.
Well, you're gonna go with the mainstream answer, the safe answer.
I'll do top 5, not in like after Canelo, not in any particular order, but I'll do like Usyk.
There's literally like nobody. like
Terence
Usyk-
Crawford.
Usyk, I only rated him down like under Inoue,
Mhm.
simply, and it's not. I don't think it's his fault, but he hasn't
Yeah.
been active at heavyweight.
Okay.
Right, the same thing. I know you're gonna
True.
say Crawford too.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought anybody at welter, so
Yeah.
that's why I knock him down. And then even Usyk Chisora, I think it's a pretty good win.
That's a good name.
Right,
that's a name.
obviously 3 years ago would have been a better name.
Yeah.
Now with 9 losses, maybe
Yeah.
people won't give him as much credit. But see, Jesus says Crawford number 2, and same reason I knocked Crawford down as I knocked down Usyk because they haven't fought any top level
Big names,
talent in their current division. Right.
Mhm.
For Crawford, you've been at welterweight for what, 2-3 years, and you haven't fought any of the top 10.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, people are gonna throw in Jeff Horn, but I'm gonna just laugh.
Shit. Yeah. So I would throw in Errol Spence. I think Errol Spence has a better resume than, especially what he's done lately. Aside from the car crash, it's been like a year. Errol Spence, Crawford, Usyk, and then up
Inoue and
in a
Canelo,
way,
right?
Inoue's in there, and
Yeah,
then
those 5 are not bad.
top 5. And I would say
Yeah.
6 and 7, like the
I feel like it's
Triple
wide
G
open right
is
now.
there.
I feel like it's wide open, and that's why I like to get my list once a year is over
Yeah,
to see how that year went, right? But I
Yeah.
feel like right now it's open.
it's
I
open
mean,
right now. It's open season.
unless you put Crawford at number 2, that's
Yeah.
disrespectful. I think
I would not knock. I would not knock out
he's
Lomachenko.
fighting Kell Brook.
Yeah, I would not knock out Lomachenko out of the top 10. I think he drops a couple places, but not at the top 10.
Let me ask
he's
you
still,
this.
He's still
Do you still have Triple G in your top 10?
like a 9 or 10. If I have him, it's like
I
9
still
or 10.
see him in the top 10.
He just hasn't done. He hasn't fought. It's been like, he's been away from from the boxing psyche for a minute now because he hasn't fought.
And
So
Yeah,
I like to reward the fighters that've been fighting, maybe like Estel Gallo or.
I mean, he had the Derevchenko win, which I think was
a little
questionable,
suspect. It was kind
you
of
know.
close.
But other than that, he hasn't had a very good win. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. All right, let's see what Sean says. Sean says, one could say that Inoue has not been those kind of... Yeah, I agree
Well,
with that.
Yeah.
He hasn't fought the names, which that's why when I said number 2 and then I was already thinking about the counter argument. I
Yeah.
knew people were going to say that. And that's true. I do think the Rodriguez fight was a good one.
That was a good one.
People are not going to give him credit for that, but that was a good
he's
fight.
not. Yeah, because he's not a
Yeah,
name, but
he's not a big name.
But he's an
He
undefeated
was a
fighter
champion, and
at that moment.
I thought that was a good win. But yeah, most people are going to say that he doesn't have the elite names. But, I mean,
I mean, what?
I feel like I'm not going to have a conclusive, like, top 5, top 10 list until like 2 years from now. Because a lot of
Yeah.
this year has been a little off. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of fights have been canceled, postponed, and rightfully so because of the pandemic. And there's a lot of uncertainty. So, I don't know, man. I wouldn't give my list right now, honestly.
Yeah.
But if I did have to, I will
Yeah.
put Inoue number 2.
For me, like Inoue did what he had to do You know, in his first, I mean, he's fought in the U.S. before. I know they wanted to kind of hype it as like this is his coming.
Yeah.
He's fought in the U.S. You know, early on, but not like at this stage. But I think he did sensational. Jason Moloney, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter.
What he was 21-1 with 18
Yeah.
knockouts. Like
Yeah, and he was showing some good defensive like movements in that ring. It's just Inoue just was able to catch him twice, drop him twice, and finished him off in that last round,
yeah,
which was clean, man. That shit was a clean little counter inside.
yeah. So Sean is saying, wait. Jesus says I rank Gallo higher than Inoue.
He got up. He could see that. I could see that.
I wouldn't because
I mean,
he lost to Chocolatito, right? And he lost to
2012?
Sorvisai.
because we do say like, what have you done lately, right? You haven't lost lately.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. He hasn't lost lately.
You can't erase the past. It was still there.
Yeah, but like you beat Sor. Sor was in the top after he took Chocolatito's spot.
Yeah.
It's like
But he lost to him before
like,
that. So
it's like if
to me,
somebody
that cancels out.
It's like if somebody beats Teofimo
And they're supposed
right?
to fight again.
Yeah,
from what I read.
Yeah,
they're supposed to Gallo against Sorvisai.
Yeah. But imagine somebody beats Teofimo now. Wouldn't you give that guy like a high spot too? He beat the guy that beat the guy. So
yeah.
He's got a point. You got an argument, Jesus. You got an argument.
All right, and then Sean says, I'm taking credit away from Usyk and Crawford. They were at least undisputed champions. Isn't Teofimo? And I said this last week already. Didn't Teofimo already outdo Crawford? Like, Crawford never beat a guy like Lomachenko or even a guy like Comey in his whole career. Right?
He's got a point.
Doesn't Teofimo already outdo Crawford? So we should rank Teofimo higher than Crawford, right?
In a way. But he still needs that
I'm
email.
just saying.
He needs that email belt, bro. It's not really.
That one's still out there? That email belt?
Yo, can you email me the
That's
belt?
interesting. How do you guys feel about that? Is Teofimo really undisputed? Because some people are disputing that.
Yeah, man.
That's
I like the argument you brought last time, right? What did you say?
that Haney never beat a champion to get the championship, and he got upgraded. He never actually won it in the ring.
Yeah, so it was a vacant belt, as you guys know, and then the upgraded version. That's why they call him the email champ.
Who said anything about Teofimo? No, but I'm saying, then how would Crawford be number 2 if you guys are rating him so high? If Teofimo already outdid him, if we're using the same arguments, because you guys are using the undisputed argument, right? Teofimo has beat better opposition.
Yeah.
With Inoue, I know they're not gonna give Inoue credit, but I am.
The problem I have with Crawford is that ESPN, obviously we know why, if they push the number 1 pound for pound.
Shout out to Disney.
So much. So much.
And I texted Frankie this now.
Yeah.
Canelo's gonna be number 3 now, according to ESPN. Because they're gonna move Inoue up. Hey, the way that Dre and Timmy were talking about him, they're gonna move Canelo to number 3.
Man, Canelo's
guaranteed.
Canelo's gonna have to fight. They're gonna be like, well, he hasn't fought in a year, So he has to fight somebody, and hopefully early 2021, man, because it doesn't seem like he's gonna be fighting this year.
Who?
Canelo.
Canelo. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting topic about Inoue. I don't know how people still feel about him. Is he rightfully rated so high now, or are people still like, I don't know? Because I haven't really seen any comments or read anything about it. You always got to go to the Instagram comments and the YouTube comments for that type of stuff. Twitter, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're pretty divided. A lot of people have him like 4 to 6, and some people do have him like you, like they have him rated 2 or 3, like up there. I know Robert Garcia doesn't have him too high up there. He has him like 4 or 5.
I know it's gonna take time.
Yeah,
it's gonna take time for the American public to
I think even
get used to it.
Even the boxing fanatics.
ESPN has been telling you this for so long that you're just like, that's what it is.
I think even the boxing fans are like, we want to see a name. I mean, Nonito is a name, and he fought a good fight, but I guess they want to see a little bit more, a couple more names.
Yeah, I think these last 3 were names: Rodriguez,
yeah.
Donaire, and then Moloney. I think those are names. Of course, people are not gonna say that.
Yeah,
but he's gonna have a tough time to, I guess, to earn that respect. I think because. Who are the quote unquote sexy names at 118 or even if he moves up 122, 118?
Yeah.
Can he go lower than that? I don't know. Like,
I think he's just trying to move up. I feel like the the tournament.
Yeah.
That is like an undisputed tournament. It's like all the ones that wanted to be there were there. Like all the ones that didn't, you're trying to dodge and duck.
Yeah.
That's to me, that's like obviously it's not the undisputed belt, but it was like a variation of it. I know Andre Ward went through something like that, and after he won that tournament, he was he was ranked high.
Yeah.
That was like kind of like his coming out tournament party. You know, he knocked out a bunch of good name fighters in that. So I think this is anyways kind of crowning without having the undisputed title. That tournament kind of cemented him as one of the best
Yeah.
in his weight. So yeah.
But that's very interesting. Should we move on to, or do you have anything to add?
I think that's
good
it.
with that.
I think,
Yeah. Move on to the main attraction.
Here we go.
The main attraction of the Halloween night, of course, Leo Santa Cruz against Gervonta the Tank Davis. And like I said, I was watching Inoue's fight. Toward the end of that fight, it ended in the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still watching that fight while the Santa Cruz and Gervonta fight
Yeah.
was going on. So
I kind of see why, because I think I've told you before. I was like, you have an eye for seeing what's gonna happen in the next 2-3 rounds. You're very good at calling out the knockouts. Like, yo, something's gonna like.
I just pretend. Bro. I don't know. No,
you
but
just start gambling, bro.
But he was hurting Moloney since all those rounds, and it just body language. Moloney was slowly deteriorating, and I'm like, I don't want to miss this knockout.
Yeah,
and then switch it over to Tank.
There we go.
Santa Cruz. Man, I don't. I think obviously the whole conversation is the knockout, right?
Yeah,
That's what's dominating.
Yeah,
All the talks. But if we were to talk about the fight itself, I thought it was a good fight.
Yeah.
There were fans there, obviously in attendance, and it was interesting. It felt like a normal fight to me.
Nice.
Still the bubble. I'm still kind of getting used to it. It's a little, I don't know, still a little weird. But this fight felt a little more normal, maybe. And I thought it was a good fight, man.
Dude, it was. I think Leo, he didn't put like the volume of punches as much as he used to, but he was fighting a very competitive fight. He brought the fight to Tank. He had Tank backing up for a couple rounds. Had him like fighting like in a way backwards.
Yeah, I believe Leo threw and landed more punches throughout this fight. I'm not sure. I took a screenshot of the punch stats, but I didn't really analyze them like that. But I do think that Leo landed and threw more punches.
Yeah. He was giving Tank a fight. He was giving Tank a fight, and he looked confident in there. I mean, Tank. We talked about. I think Leo mentioned how like he was kind of trying to take him past the 6th round, because that's the first through 6 is when Tank is most dangerous, and we saw why. But I know Leo was trying to take him to the latter rounds. It didn't happen, but like the first 4-5 rounds very competitive. I think if I'm not mistaken, the judges had Tank up by 1 round when the fight was stopped. And that just shows a lot. Leo is coming up from 118. He was, he had titles at 122, 26, and he's fighting a guy at 130. He didn't look too much of the smaller guy. He's taller than Tank.
Yeah.
But dude, it was a competitive fight up until the end, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think he was winning a lot of the rounds. But I mean, it was a close fight. I thought he was doing very well and very interesting. I saw this interview. I don't know if he was at the airport or something. They caught up with him and they asked him about Tank's size, and he said Leo, I speak of. He said that Tank's size was there. It was something that was a thing in the fight, but he also mentioned that he didn't really feel Tank's power though. Up to that punch, obviously.
Up to the punch, yeah.
Which it kind of seemed like it, because Leo was coming forward, and a lot of times he would go into a shell and he would get hit and just kind of smile and then keep throwing. So it didn't seem early on like the power was bothering him that much. But obviously the punch that landed was just a tremendous punch. I don't know if he saw it coming, and it landed right on the button, and there's no coming back from that.
Yeah.
But it was a very interesting fight. I would have loved to see this fight go past the 6th, the 7th, the 8th,
I would have
to see how Tank was gonna do.
Respond. Yeah.
Because Leo, he was starting to throw a lot more punches in those last couple of rounds. So that kind of like, it leaves you kind of curious, questioning like, would Tank be able to keep up with the volume of punches,
Yeah.
especially knowing a lot of people say that Tank is not always in shape, that he struggles to make weight. Was that going to have an effect on him in that second half of the fight?
Yeah.
Would have been very, very interesting.
That was like you mentioned. That was one of the answers that we wanted to. One of the questions that we wanted answered. Like, can Tank keep that same energy, that same power in the later rounds? I think a lot of people kind of expected this fight to go at least 8 or 9. But yeah, like you said, tremendous uppercut. If you go back and see the fight, that he didn't land it up until then cleanly, but he was throwing that constantly throughout those rounds.
Yeah.
When you look back, you're like, oh shit, there it is. Oh shit, there it is again. Oh, and then you're just like, oh, this one's the one that's gonna land. But props to Tank because he did make weight. We talked about, we know.
Is that really a thing? Like, I know everybody was talking about it, but how many times has he missed weight?
He's missed weight a couple times.
Like three?
Twice?
2 or 3?
2 or 3. Maybe 3, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people were
And
making that a big deal, the weight.
I want to say props. I mean, I know people are going to be like, that's something you're supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
You're a professional.
Yeah.
That's something you're supposed to do, but like.
You agree to it contractually.
Yes, but did he have to? He could have paid a fee. He could have paid,
That's true.
He's got money. He could have, but he came in. That kind of just shows that discipline. Like, okay, he came
They
in
made more than $1
disciplined.
million for this fight, right?
Yeah.
From what I'm
Yeah.
reading.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And the pay-per-view numbers came in. I never like saying these numbers because I don't know how accurate they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think I read 200 to 250, something like that. That's
2.25?
what I saw.
Pay-per-view
I
wise?
don't know.
Yeah.
Which that's
What
decent.
did we say in the last podcast? Like, what did we? I think
A
I asked you.
successful pay-per-view.
Yeah, what would be a successful? I think.
I said 200.
Okay.
You guys, I think, said lower, like
Yeah, like
150,
150.
100,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
So I guess that's a successful pay-per-view by our standards. Not that they matter, but but yeah, to me, like back to the weight. That at least for that, like him making weight shuts up people in a way because like nobody could, like if he had not make weight, we were like, oh, he didn't make weight, right? He comes all the people criticizing
Yeah.
like he didn't make. Well, he made weight. He obviously he dehydrated, which is then fighters do that, or no, he rehydrated, which is like fighters can do that. But yeah, he made weight. So dang, in a way, he did what he had to do. He showed that discipline that maybe hasn't been there in his previous fights. So
Yeah, and I feel like he showed discipline in the ring too. He was patient.
yeah,
In the knockout, and we were texting back and forth with Clyde from Comics Vet. Leo threw three straight right hands in that sequence,
oh yeah,
and the last one was the one that Tank countered him with the uppercut, and that was it. Night, right? But I feel like Tank did show a lot of discipline in the ring as well, because Leo, a lot of respect to him, and he went out there. He did what he does most of the time, right? Throw a lot of. Well, his volume wasn't that much, but rightfully so. You're fighting a bigger fighter, weight wise. So he still went out there. He came forward at times. He defended what he had to. So a lot of respect to Leo. But I mean, that was just a tremendous punch. The angle that he threw that at,
it was quick,
and the accuracy.
Yeah.
I mean, man, I don't know if Leo saw it coming or not. What do you think?
So,
Jesus questioning it here. I don't know if he saw it or not. But after he threw the last right, he didn't move his head, and he was a standing target there.
Yeah.
And shout out to Jess and his son who are tuned in. Shout out to them. They've been training with Alfonso Gomez lately, so that's pretty dope. And I know Jess has been taking his son to the Capetillo gym too, over there in Vegas. So it's pretty dope. I'm excited to see where Lil Jess takes it.
Yeah.
He seems very focused right now, very determined. But to go back to the fight, I really wanted Leo to win this fight. This was one of the few fights where I picked a winner with my heart.
Yeah, you did.
And I think I said it. I'm not sure if I did or not, but I was picking a winner with my heart because you hear the story about his dad and the illness, and people thought he was dead, right? I remember hearing the rumors, and then they said, oh, it's not true. And then you see the Showtime All Access, and you hear him talk about it, that his father was in a coma for a few days, and they thought that was it for him. And it would have been something huge for the Santa Cruz family if he would have got that victory.
Yeah.
So I was rooting for him, man, and just to see him knocked out in front of his dad's corner,
That's tough.
I was like, man, that's sad.
rough.
That
That's
sucks.
rough.
But I mean, that's boxing, man.
Yeah, that's rough because he was fighting a pretty well disciplined fight up until that punch. And honestly, I think Tank kind of turned up in that round, dude. I saw him come forward, start pressuring, and then that power started giving Leo some troubles. That's why he was up against the ropes, and that's not where it favored him. It would have had more success when he was in the middle, just like working off his angles.
He was using his long arms to his advantage. Yeah, and that's why I was hoping he would pull it off because he is a little longer as far as reach and his legs are longer, and he was using that to his advantage.
Yeah.
I feel like he was fighting a very good fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that power, man. When you have that power, a lot of times it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
What you do.
Yeah. And
Deontay Wilder almost got away with it against Fury, right? You lose 10 out of 12 rounds, and that power brings you back.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah.
I know a lot of people still don't give Tank like credit. Like, oh, he did what he was supposed to do. He knocked out a smaller guy.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's still a name.
And I wanted to make that point too.
Okay.
I want to give Tank credit for that.
Okay.
He got the knockout, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said Errol Spence was supposed to knock out Mikey Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't hurt him.
Right.
They said Teofimo was supposed to knock out Lomachenko. Couldn't hurt him.
Yeah.
Right. In this case, Gervonta does get the knockout. A lot of people are saying he did what he was supposed to do. So I feel like we got to give him credit for that.
Got to give him credit because it's like that's what everybody's talking about. The week before, you had something sensational in Teofimo, and then that's something that people can still be talking about.
That was questionable, right? And like, oh, did he really win? At times he didn't look amazing.
Yeah.
With this one, no question.
No questions. Like, and now people are talking about Tank, and then now you put Tank and Teofimo. That's what everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
But it's the way he won. If he had not won sensationally,
it made people forget that he was beating up his girlfriend over there on ringside or whatever.
Dang, I forgot about that. But yeah, so I mean, you gotta give him props. You saw his reaction, how happy he was in that corner.
What do you think about the outfit
for Tank? Oh, that's right, dude. Damn. Okay.
What do you think about that? Let's talk about it.
I can't hate it, to be honest, dude. I with Mayweather, like the first time he wore it, I was like, okay, it's a little disrespectful, but I mean, we talked about this. It's good publicity, bad publicity. It's all entertainment. It's honestly, I can't be too mad at that. I thought it was kind of. I mean, obviously, it's not May. It's not September. Well, that would have been like, but it was kind of cool. It was like a little homage to Mayweather in a way. I wasn't too mad about it. What about you? What you think?
You know how I feel about them using these colors, right?
Yeah.
In this case, I didn't think it was too bad because I like that they were putting thought into it.
Okay.
Floyd was in his ear saying, hey, this is essentially your coming out party like it was his against De La Hoya. Same outfit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I know Clyde wasn't too happy about it.
What'd he say?
When he came out with it, he was saying, oh, I really hope he loses now.
Okay.
I don't like it. But... in this case, I didn't think it was so bad because of the backstory to it, the whole Floyd thing, right?
Yeah.
So, like when Errol Spence did it against Mikey Garcia, I'm like, come on, dude, don't do that.
For some reason, I didn't mind it this time like as much, but with Errol, I was like, I'm not feeling it.
And if you're gonna do it, at least acknowledge the Mexican fans, right?
Yeah.
Don't be. I was gonna say like political stuff, like Hillary with the hot sauce stuff, like just because you're there trying to pander to them, like Don't do it like that. If it's genuine, cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, right? It's flattering. But I don't feel like it's genuine. In this case, like I said, I don't think it was too bad because of the backstory of Floyd when he did it. So, and it's Halloween. Okay, you could say it's my costume, whatever. Cool.
Because he wore exactly almost the same thing to the T.
And then Jesus brings up a good point. Fury did it on Cinco de Mayo. No, on September. Did he say Cinco de Mayo? It was on September, right?
I think so.
The Mexican Independence Weekend. Same difference, right?
Same thing, yeah.
People in this country don't know. They celebrate Cinco de Mayo more, right? But in that case, my point is Tyson Fury fought on Mexican Independence Weekend. He made it all about the Mexican spectator.
Yeah.
He had Capetillo in his corner. He came out to Mexican music. Obviously, it was Mexican Independence Day, so he had the Mexican outfit, everything. The whole kind of show was catering to the Mexican fan on Mexican Independence Weekend, right?
Yeah.
If you're just going to come out to the outfit and not even acknowledge the Mexican fan, I think that's when I kind of feel some type of way about it. At least say gracias, say something.
Yeah, at least
say shout out to the Mexican fans. I don't know, say something. Fury did the whole thing. He came out with the music, with everything. He even hired a Mexican cut man, dude. I'm like, all right, respect.
Yeah. No, I get you. I know a lot of people are gonna play the race card, be like, why do you get upset at the African American and not the Caucasian fighter? But it's like you just mentioned, if you go about it the right way, then you really can't be mad. Tyson, for instance, like you say, he's always had like his Hispanic people around him. You know, Mayweather had his cut man was Hispanic, and so there's that people you have to acknowledge the Mexican fan base is the one that pretty much puts the sport on. When it comes to tickets, whether they're paying to see their Mexican fighter or whether
Cinco de Mayweather,
or they're paying to see someone lose, like they're still paying. So, yeah, to me, it's the same thing with you. I just pay homage. I don't know. Yeah, like you said with Tank, I wasn't too mad.
Triple G got away with it. He had a Mexican trainer. He would say "Gracias, amigos" at the end of the fight. He was like, "Okay, cool.
We don't ask for much.
You're acknowledging us."
Just say gracias. Like we don't ask for much. You only have to get it right. At least as long as you're trying and it feels sincere. Yeah, shit. But yeah.
Shout out to Sincere.
Shout out to Sincere.
Yeah, but that was that tremendous knockout.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did want to add something that came out today that supposedly Tank was involved in a hit and run incident in Baltimore early this morning, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I saw the reports today that people saw the same car that he was in after the fight. The same exact car supposedly ran a red light and
Lambo, right?
Yeah. I think it was Lambo SUV and supposedly ran a red light and hit a car and then took off. That's what the report says. I don't know. I just read it today, but it's very interesting because I made the comment of people forgot that Tank had the whole incident with the woman or that case, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of reminded me of AB, who got jailed again recently.
Again, right? Yeah.
And I don't know, like they just get away with this stuff. Like people just kind of forget about it. But
you're only as good as your last fight, man.
I don't know.
People have short-term memories in boxing. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, he's got a legal team. They got money now, so he's gonna have to sort that out. But
yeah, I don't know. Is there anything else that you wanted to add about that
fight?
The fight itself, and then we'll kind of go into the undercard. I didn't watch it because I was watching ESPN, but I heard about some stuff. Frankie said, I paid $75 for it. I'm gonna watch every single second of this. So he was tuned into the PBC fight.
No, not much to take away from the fight. It's just like Tank landed a great punch, quick, sharp, fast uppercut, and that's one of his money punches. That's that one punch. But props to Leo, dude, for just taking this fight, taking this challenge, and fighting a younger, bigger, up and coming fighter in Tank. Tank is one of those fighters that can be like mainstream. He's got that potential. He's got that swag. He's got the skill, the power. So I think we're gonna see a lot of him in the years to come. And Leo, he should keep his head high because again, it was a challenge. And, a lot of fighters nowadays don't fight that one person and they'll date him for years and then never gets made. And, but I think Leo has made a lot of money, bro, in the sport. And I think a lot of people have discounted him early on. Sometimes like these fighters get these titles and then they kind of go into obscurity. They take a loss and they don't make their money. And I think he's had a pretty good career. I don't want to say his career is done, but I think he could be proud of himself when he looks back and stuff. So it's the first time he gets knocked out, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Probably the first time he gets dropped, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but Jesus saying they are taking a Floyd recipe on matchmaking. Yeah, and I think I mentioned that too. If Teofimo kind of took Gervonta's spot in that sense, because Lomachenko wanted to fight Gervonta a year ago or two. And Floyd didn't allow it to happen. And now kind of Teofimo slid in there and kind of took that spot. And now everyone's like, Teofimo pound for pound, this and that. And I feel like Teofimo's getting more credit than Gervonta is in a way, right? Inoue? in a way.
In a way.
and Javier Ramos is saying, why wasn't Leo getting the same credit moving up like Lopez got? Leo's just as dangerous. So we're talking about Loma moving up? I believe so, but yeah, I don't know. I personally, I put him on the same boat. And it's weird because Gervonta did take some shots at Teofimo for fighting a smaller fighter in his post-fight press conference. Wait, so
Gervonta took shots at Theo?
the other way around. I think
Teofimo?
Teofimo took shots at Gervonta for
Okay.
fighting a smaller for
Oh, yeah, that's
Gervonta
right. Yeah,
fighting a smaller fighter, which
Yeah.
is like you just fought a smaller guy,
Yeah.
you know. But I don't know. I kind of put them on the same boat personally. Like they beat a smaller fighter.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch the fights, you're like, okay, I can see why they won the way they did,
Yeah.
right? I just think Gervonta did it in a more
Convincing fashion.
yeah, than Teofimo did.
Yeah.
And most people didn't consider Leo, I guess, you know, top 10 pound for pound or top 2 or 3 like they did with Loma.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess Lopez is going to get more credit for it. But personally, I would probably give Gervonta more credit for it because of the knockout.
Okay.
Because of the knockout. And because Teofimo, to me, didn't look too impressive.
Okay. For me, I personally think that seeing that fight back, I think Teofimo beat Loma convincingly. He did just enough just to beat him. He didn't beat him up, but he beat him just enough to get a 6-7-5. And it was the Loma that a lot of people didn't think he was going to lose anytime soon. People thought, like, if he lost, it was when he was going to be 35, 36, like, just losing his footwork, losing.
And then
some
how
of his
many
natural
belts did Loma
abilities.
have?
I think 3.
See, and Leo, I think he won a vacant belt or something. It wasn't like
Vacant, and then he had,
legit.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing we mentioned last week too, the 2 belt thing that we didn't like.
Yeah.
Right. And then Gervonta has like the 3rd tier belt of the WBA or something like that. Like
Man, WBA is something
I don't
else,
even know how
man.
many belts they have. Wasn't Rolly's
Rolly is
champion
like
at
the
35?
interim.
And wasn't that the WBA as well?
I think Rolly's at the interim, and then like Gervonta had the regular, and
See,
then
it's just
this
like,
one, and
I
then
don't even know.
Now he's a super
Yeah,
champion now.
I don't know what. I know he got the belt at 30.
Mm-hmm.
He took Leo's, but at 35, he still doesn't really have a legit belt. I don't know. I'm confused
gotta
by
go
all
to-
these belts. Like,
I gotta go to weekend.
There's,
see what's
like,
up.
regular, silver, interim. I don't know.
The WBA is something else, man.
But
Yeah.
Jess is giving more credit to Lopez. Because Loma was pound for pound and was his weight. Yeah, Loma was longer at 35, but I still feel like everybody who fought at 35, he was undersized. He was kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
And then he finally fought a big 35. But, I mean, I don't know. Do you think this is enough to put both of them in the top 10 list? I know those are all opinion-based and all that,
Yeah.
but...
In my opinion, it puts it. Teofimo deserves to be in. Leo just not. I mean, Gervonta not just yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. Maybe like top 12, but not yet. The Gervonta needs a Teofimo type fight, a Devin Haney type fight. Yeah, but he hasn't.
Who would he like? Who would he like Leo Santa Cruz to fight next, and who would he like Gervonta to fight next?
Gervonta next. Obviously, people want that Teofimo fight. I think
I
it's.
thought
I
you were
think
gonna
it's
say Ryan. Ryan's been
Well,
calling him.
after Luke Campbell, maybe that might be like the most juicy fight and stuff. You know,
Teofimo against
Gervonta.
Mm.
I like to see Teofimo next.
Mm.
But yeah, obviously people want to see like what
would-
else Ryan has, you know.
I would like for them to milk that fight a little bit more.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I want to see that. A lot of these fights need to be a little bit manifested.
Because right now they'll probably
Milk.
make $2 million each.
Yeah,
If they wait a year or two, they can probably triple that.
yeah,
So look at us thinking like promoters.
for real. Okay, so you want to see who's champion at what?
35.
So
Who
at,
has the
30, at
WBA?
35, WBA, the real super champion is
It's
Teofimo.
Teofimo, yeah.
Regular is Gervonta, and then Rollies is the
3
interim.
So 3 of them.
Yeah. And then WBC Dave
Huh.
Haney, and then the rest are still Teofimo Lopez, of course. And then super featherweight, which is the one below, Gervonta's the super champion. Pernell Alvarado is the regular, and some guy named Chris Colbert is the interim. And then Miguel Berchelt has WBC, Joseph Diaz has IBF, and Jamel Herring WBO. You could challenge Jamel Herring and take that belt right now. I'm gonna bust the.
He's gonna check you. He's gonna busting his stacks.
I was gonna say. What you say?
Yeah,
All right.
but that's Tank. Jess wants to see him at 35. Tank versus Lopez, 2021. Then Ryan. Sean is over here laughing at the stacks. Stacks one. That's
I feel
funny.
like it's the Sean should have been like, maybe you shouldn't say that. You know, yeah.
I can
Don't say
trim
that.
it out, dude. I got you. I got you, fam. See, it was Sean's fault. He didn't trim out
Yeah,
stacks.
yeah.
He's like,
Sean,
nah,
you
own
should.
up to it.
All right.
Yeah, but that's that. I mean, I don't have much more to add.
Where does Leo go from here, in your opinion?
Leo,
Yeah,
go to 26. Who's at 26 right now? Um,
26 featherweight, Shakur.
if Valdez goes down, that would be a good fight. Obviously, they're not in the same promotional company.
Yeah.
Shakur is ESPN as well. But I feel like he definitely has to go down. I feel like at 26, that suits him best. He's not a
Yeah.
power puncher. He can take a punch from people his size. So, I don't know. I had a good opponent. Leo versus Berchelt at 30. That's dangerous. I would stay away from that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll name out the top. What do you want? Top 7 from
Of,
featherweight.
26.
Warrington, Navarrete. Navarrete would be a sick fight.
Navarrete, okay, yeah.
Mexican. You could fight Russell Jr. again, but then he never fights. Kid Galahad. This is the Chinese fighter Kang Zhu, Shakur Stevenson, Isaac Dogbo, Jesse Magdaleno. Yeah.
See, there's nobody at PBC. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about Magdaleno, Diego Magdaleno was on the undercard, right? Shout out to
Yeah.
Frankie. One of the Magdalenos was on this card.
Yeah.
And I heard he got knocked out in the first round.
Dude, that shit was brutal. First
Yeah,
round,
it was brutal.
Put him against the ropes, just offloaded like
Shout out to Against
uppercuts,
the
left
Ropes.
hooks, and just dropped him. And dude,
Man, that's crazy.
I had not heard of his opponent until this fight, and I think he only has one loss, but come forward fighter, yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. Was this card worth the 75, whatever dollars it was, 80, let's say, with tax? Was it worth it? It wasn't worth it to me. That's why I was more tuned into ESPN.
Yeah.
I was more locked into that one. But, I mean, obviously, I guess a knockout makes it worth it in a sense, depending who you were rooting for. But I don't know. Besides that, I didn't hear this card making too much noise.
Yeah.
You said that you just shout yourself out. Bro, we do it every single show. Right?
Yeah, we do.
Shout out to
Got
Against
to.
the Ropes.
It's such a common phrase. We hear it in boxing all the time. Yeah.
I mean, why not?
It rolls off the tongue. So I was in Mexico, so I didn't have to pay for the price tag, really. So I was, like,
you were
enjoying it.
good.
But I know
Yeah.
I know if I was in the States paying 75, I don't think I'd be happy, dude. Too happy.
Yeah, man. After
Unless
the
I'm, like-
Charlo card, like,
Couple beers in, and the atmosphere in the party is okay, but I don't think 75 was. I think it was a little. People are suffering, man. It's a pandemic, man. It's a little steep.
yeah.
It's a little steep.
But yeah, I think that was that card, right? Do we have
Yeah.
anything else on that?
I think
that was
that's
it, huh?
for the most of it.
Gervonta. Yeah, it should be very interesting. We'll see what Leo takes next. Leo Santa Cruz. I feel like he has to move down, man.
Yeah, I think he's at that point where he's trying to make as much money as he can. He's at the tail end of his career.
What is Regan now fighting at right now?
I think 122, 118.
Man,
I think 118.
I
Right
think
there with Inoue.
122.
I want to see Regan numbers to Inoue.
That would be good.
Been wanting that fight.
That would be good.
Yeah, that's a name fighter. That's when you think like that's a name fighter that Inoue could fight. That will give him credibility.
You think he stops Rigo?
Foo, if he does,
I think so,
fuck.
man.
Do you think so?
If Loma made him quit,
That's Loma though. You're like Loma's not the Matrix anymore though.
you think Loma has Inoue power?
No, well, I don't think Inoue has. I think that the power ends right there at the division he's in. I think he's a small guy, but
Yeah. I think the highest he can go is probably 22, 26, pushing it.
yeah.
Pushing it. But yeah, he has a small.
I think Guille should take that fight. He's not easy to find him a fight. Nobody really wants to fight him because it's a low risk or high risk, low reward. But I think that's a fight that Top Rank could put together. Who is Guillermo under who right now?
PBC.
PBC. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he's
be tough to
PBC.
me. Dang.
Yeah, but that's that,
Great
man.
fight.
I thought it was I'm glad that it got a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah.
I saw ESPN posted it on their pages, and I'm just glad that a lot of people were talking about this fight, this knockout. Right, it was a big deal, and hopefully Tank could stay like in line, man. Hopefully he doesn't go the
Yeah.
AB route.
Fucking Tank.
They're saying he was like we mentioned earlier involved in a hit and run incident. I mean, we'll see what happens with that. What's up to Gonzalo? Yeah, and see, he just mentioned that another hit and run incident with Davis. I mean, hopefully he's. I mean, he has all the makings of a star. He has the power. A lot of people
Yeah.
are comparing him to Tyson.
Wait, Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Mike. I was just gonna bring up Mike
Why are you
Tyson.
laughing, bro?
No, because I was just thinking of Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson would have left the cars like, just keep the car. He would have just like, but he wouldn't. He would have walked away, not hit and run.
Hit
But
and run, man.
damn,
I mean,
that's the thing.
hopefully he can stay in line, man. Stay in
Yeah.
check. You don't want to be like AB.
you don't want
Who
to
just got arrested again. I supposedly for flaunting money on Instagram, and the courts got a hold of it and were like, I guess they were like, oh, I thought you didn't have money to pay for this and that for the stuff that he was accused prior to that.
Yeah.
And then they took him in. I think he's out now, right? Because I saw him posting some stuff, some videos. I don't know, but hopefully Gervonta doesn't go that AB route.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. AB Gervonta, these guys have like they have star qualities, but it's that same star quality that like attracts, maybe these bad energies, bad people around them, people not kind of guiding them in the right way. Mayweather, he's a promoter. He's already done his career. He has it made. He's trying to, make these guys into stars, but there's only so much he can do. He can't be there like with them 24/7. So it's really up to them. They're grown men. He just had the biggest signature win of his career thus far, and man, can't throw that away. Can't throw that away. So
he kind of had a Errol Spence moment, huh? In a way,
damn, yeah, yeah. Well, Errol Spence didn't
hit anybody.
Yeah,
he hit himself.
Hit himself, man. But man,
And then Gonzalo brings it up the girlfriend incident. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess when you have money,
just tell me who your friends are, man. Tell me who your friends are.
got the right lawyers and the right people around you. But I mean, hopefully he stays on track.
Yeah.
Does he? Do I think he's gonna become a boxing star? Honestly, I don't think so.
Oh, Gervonta? You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Based on what, these outside incidents or what?
Based on outside incidents, based on he doesn't have the best promoter, based on I think he's a little too small if he goes to 35 or 40, which is kind of interesting because he struggles supposedly to make 30, right? He doesn't have the biggest size per se compared to these 135ers. Teofimo isn't the biggest, but he is bigger than Gervonta.
Yeah.
Brian Garcia's a tall 35. It's going to be interesting how Gervonta could do at 35 and even 40. I would have assumed that he'll eventually go up to 40 if he continues with the quote-unquote weight issues. So I don't think he'll make it up there, but I do think he can be a fighter like Deontay Wilder. Make a lot of money, get a lot of knockouts, and eventually lose to a better fighter.
I agree. With me, like he's got power that not everybody wishes they could be born with power. Not everybody has that.
I thought you were gonna say the power of having Mayweather.
No, so he's got certain
and the
things.
lawyers and all that.
He's got that, but the thing that he's lacking is consistency and discipline. There's moments where he shows discipline, and then there's moments where he doesn't. He doesn't have the consistency.
Yeah, he looked locked in for this fight.
Yeah,
And he looked in shape.
yeah. If he could do that every single,
And then the incident
fight,
happens right after that.
right?
So it's like,
bro, man. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna take care of that, but everybody knows you can't enable somebody. If you cover up with somebody, they're gonna think they could get away with it next time. And that's again, they're bringing up instances. The one with the girlfriend, now this one. It just shows like there could be another instance and stuff.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson's like the best example of what happens when you cover up that wound. You just, But yeah, hopefully he can shape up. How old is he? 26?
something like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully he can. This is the prime of his career, so this is where he has to make the most money. And yeah, so
And Jesus says Loma against Inoue.
that would be nice.
That would be interesting.
What weight would you put that in? 126?
26.
'Cause then it was
Catch weight like 28 maybe. I don't know.
118 and then 126, 128. Yeah, that would be. I think Bob Arum mentioned that fight maybe a year and a half ago, and I was like, I would love to see that just skill wise.
I mean, they're around the same height. Maybe
Yeah.
Lomachenko a little taller. Lomachenko not as powerful
Yeah,
as the people around his weight class. So I feel like that would be an enticing argument to
yeah,
bring Inoue up there. And they're both top ranked. So that would be
easy to make. That's a
That'd be
chess match.
interesting.
That is a chess match, but I
Yeah.
would love to see that one. Gotta get past.
Yeah, that would be
break it
good.
out though first.
El Chacal.
And Chacal, man, trying to help Chacal get some money. Get that bag first, man. How old is he? 30. I think he just celebrated like 20. Like I saw a post today that he celebrated his first Olympic gold medal 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
Damn.
What is that?
2000?
2000?
Bro.
How?
Damn, how these Cubans, man, get these genes, man. It's
2000.
like 40 and Luis Ortiz is like how old? I don't know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but
So Max checking in here is asking any news about Adrien about Broner.
what'd you say about bars?
About bars. I assumed he was out because I saw him post something. I don't know if it was today, but I was scrolling and I saw him post something like him dancing with Mayweather on his Instagram.
Okay.
So maybe they let him out already. Maybe he paid a fine.
I don't know, dude.
I think he's out,
Yeah.
but I don't know, man.
I saw a video that he did with Ellie maybe yesterday or 2 days ago. He was super calm.
I saw
saw
that.
that one?
He was on something.
He was
man.
on something, but he was so mellow that I was listening, dude.
And everybody in the comments was surprised. They were like, I kind of like this Broner. He's so
Yeah,
mellow.
mellow.
Like, he actually sounds intelligent
Yeah.
because they were asking him about certain fights, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was super mellow. I don't know if he was on something or. But then he got arrested that couple of nights before or night before. After that, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man.
That's the thing with AB. He's just that character, dude. Like, if he shows that, people are like, you know what? I'm gonna give him one more chance. I mean, let me tune in one more because he's so entertaining. He's got skills. It's like that potential that never met. But
Yeah.
man,
Anyway,
I think somebody said a funny and very true comment that if he was like on the undercard or like co-main event, people will still tune in.
oh, heck
People
yeah.
still see, man. People will still see, but yeah, we'll see what
God
happens.
them. And I don't know who enemy is, man. Flat out.
Okay, an example with Broner is like you put him on a basketball court, you put him like in a
God
soccer
them.
match,
And I don't
people
know
will
who
watch
enemy is, man.
because of his
Flat
personality.
out.
People will still like, he's like that entertaining all around.
We got to get him on the podcast.
We got him, man.
Coming
We got
soon.
to. Coming soon.
All right.
We'll run into him in Vegas sometime. Trust.
Maybe that was during visitation hours. I've never been locked up, so I don't know how it works, bro. If you've been locked up, let us know. And I don't know how it works, honestly. I don't know how jail works. I've never been to a jail. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying, if we could get Shane Mosley on the show, we're gonna get AB on the show.
We'll go. We'll
Okay.
go to Cincinnati
I'm gonna speak it into existence.
or Vegas,
Or
wherever.
Vegas.
It don't matter. Let's do it. We'll get them before Hez and them.
Before
And we'll talk about that in a little bit.
There
But
we go.
yeah, I think that's all I got on that one. We're about an hour 16 in. So I don't know. We might hit the 2-hour mark, man.
Shit. With our
Yeah.
goodbyes, yeah, I think so.
What happened?
With our goodbyes.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
Okay.
let's kind of rewind a little bit to the zone Munguia.
Johnson.
Honestly, I didn't even catch the fight. I was busy Friday, but I did catch the Marlene Esparza fight against Sulem Urbina. I did catch that fight, and Esparza walked away with it.
Okay.
Decent fight. It was cool.
I think
I
it's
did-
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch the main event, Munguia.
Okay.
I think I left home and I got back and it was already over. But I did see the pictures.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to put it up on your screen because I don't like watching nasty pictures. And it looked nasty. All right, so I'm not going to put it on your screen, but I did see that.
Yeah.
And I did see the uppercut that caused it. So, man, that's that. Munguia 160, right?
Yeah, 160 middleweight division. Daniel Johnson, a veteran. It's one of those journeyman gatekeepers. Munguia showed his what he had, but he still gets punched a lot.
I don't think that's ever going to change. I feel like as long as he's taking it well, then it's okay, I guess, as long as he can knock people out. I don't think that's going to change. I think that's just him. I think that's just his athletic or lack of athletic abilities. Lack
Yeah.
of feet work and feet movement and head movement.
Yeah, definitely the head movement. I don't know, it reminds you a lot of like that Margarito style where you just get hit a lot.
He's from
and-
Tijuana, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So you just, that's, man.
And he has Eric Morales still in his corner, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So,
I
he
think
he be pissed low key in that corner.
Who?
Morales, like, come on, dude,
Cabeza.
counter punch,
Yeah.
slip and hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say like this is like his ceiling, like his skill wise, but it could be. He's a very, that style is very entertaining. People love that, like that Mexican style. You get punched and then you just break down your opponent. But that's not favorable. And we had Alfonso Gomez on the show where he's like, man, I don't like that style. Like we need to teach these young men how to, not get hit and stuff. And then obviously he brought that point, like everybody wants to be Julio Cesar Chavez, but nobody can be him, especially not like in this athletic, much more athletic era. And so, yeah, I want to see.
I mean, he got the W at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be winning a bunch of fights up until he hits like those elite fighters, those bigger punchers, the Charlos and maybe some other, more boxing skilled fighters. But yeah, and I guess he's still gonna be winning up until he faces those guys. So
I do want to see him against Canelo.
I
do, man. I feel like Munguia is one of those fighters who, in a sense, typical Mexican fighter who's never going to quit. He's going to keep coming forward. And I feel like Canelo hasn't had an opponent like that in a long time.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of his opponents are timid. More recently because of his defense, right? You even saw Daniel Jacobs a bit timid to let his hands go at times. Kovalev as well.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you put a guy like Munguia in front of Canelo, I don't think he'll beat Canelo, obviously, but at least it'll be a little more entertaining and he'll make Canelo work a little harder perhaps. But I would like to see that.
Yeah. I'll give you a name. Like, how do you see a fight between him and Dabrichenko?
Oh,
Right.
That would be a war.
Right.
Jesus says Munguia against Murata.
Okay.
Who's Murata? Is that the Japanese guy?
fighter.
Okay, yeah.
Murata.
Dude,
Right.
I really like Japanese fighters. Like,
damn, the last one he fought gave him a good fight. I think he kind of saw him edging Munguia. That was the other Inoue, right? Am I not mistaken?
what happened?
That was the other Inoue that gave him a fight. The other Japanese fighter.
Against Munguia?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
So it was that Hogan guy, and then it was that Japanese fighter.
I forget his name.
Yeah,
forget
those
his
two
name.
were questionable, man. I'm gonna.
You think so?
Those two were questionable. I would give the nod to those two, to be honest. I have to be completely honest, and nobody was paying me as a judge.
Yeah, like people are not happy with Munguia. I get the sense. Jesus says Munguia still needs major improvements.
Yeah,
and I feel like that is the general consensus, right? And that makes me kind of wonder, what if Munguia would have taken that fight against Triple G early on in his career?
Yeah. I remember, I think we mentioned it on the podcast before, when Triple G was having trouble finding an opponent, this guy just threw his name in the hat.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, he's very brave. But I was like, maybe he sees something that, like, maybe there's something about him that we don't know yet. Because that's something that happens in boxing. You don't know about this fighter, and he's actually pretty good.
But I feel like he actually built a reputation because all of us were like, okay, that kid must be really good.
He must be
then.
fucking
like,
good.
He's
Like,
only 20 years old, but he must be really good to be putting his name.
Yeah. But like seeing that, and obviously his little legend kind of, well, not his legend, but like his name kind of grew when he kind of just tore up Ali, knocked him down like 5-6 times to win that 154-pound strap. So we're like, oh shit, he might be. But like seeing him now, like our viewer mentioned, like he does need improvements, especially on the defensive end. And yeah, I know he was working with our guy Andy Aguilar. He was trying to work on his explosiveness on certain things. But I think he was having trouble adjusting to the new era of training. And that's not to knock off anything from Munguia. He's still a good, decent fighter, but
he just gave up and went up to 160.
I'm just gonna do it my way, man. Fuck it. But
yeah, let's go to some comments here. Sean does say Inoue, and then Tekashi.
Tekashi Inoue. Yeah, there you go. That guy is
not the other Tekashi. We haven't heard of him from a while, huh?
Yeah, that guy's a good. I like seeing that Will.
No, I'm talking about
Tekashi 6ix9ine,
the rapper. Yeah, I'm like, wait, what?
We're talking boxing, bro. I thought you were talking about that Takashi Inoue.
Well, I got a little bit distracted because Jess says who wins, Trump or Biden. I don't know. Keep us posted. I don't know if they've updated anything. From last thing I saw, the blue corner was doing really well. The red corner was gassing out, so it needed probably a knockout. So I don't know. Keep us
Yeah.
updated if you guys know anything about it.
Biden's definitely up on the scorecards, bro. For sure. Yeah.
You never know with these judges, though.
I never know with these judges, man. Yeah.
And then,
honestly, before the fight, I thought these judges were gonna give this race to Trump, but
to the red corner.
y'all slept on Sleepy Joe, man. Hey. But yeah, dude,
And
this
then,
crazy. Politics is crazy, man.
Yeah. Even outside of boxing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Derek's on right now, but he's keeping us updated in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna let us know what's going
PA.
on.
Shout out to PA, man.
PA,
Gonzalo
man.
says entertaining, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to politics, but the last couple of days, I'm not gonna lie, it's been very, very entertaining.
Yeah.
This is the best reality show on TV right now.
Dude, honestly, like I've been running, and obviously people are like, when I'm running through the like on my neighborhood by the houses, everybody's watching the freaking race. Everybody's like,
There's nothing else on, dude.
Yeah, you see nothing but red and blue people's big screen TVs, nothing but that. And dude, what's up with Nevada? How long does it take to count these votes up, bro? I was joking with one of our friends, like I was like, everybody's at the casinos or something. Like, what's going on? Like, man, they gotta count those votes. I think Joe only needs 6 votes, and that's it. Obviously, Trump is gonna fight till the end.
I think that's enough of that. Don't get
I was gonna say,
don't get your political news from us.
I was gonna say, who's got more excuses, Trump or Wilder, dude?
I was gonna make that comparison, but I was gonna.
You're gonna.
Well, Comics Vet is here. He's a political expert.
And let's ask
Hey,
him.
if you guys want political advice, go to him. Don't go to us. All right? Because I don't know anything.
We barely know boxing, guys.
I know. We're only good at one subject, and not even that. Because look, Max says, "Are you guys staying up tonight to catch Nakatani Magramo who fight?" I wasn't even aware of this fight, and I'm not staying up.
I'm not staying up.
I gotta wake up early.
Yeah,
so
I like when people put us on like those
Yeah,
fights
yeah.
in Japan and fights.
you guys
out
know a
there.
lot more than us,
Yeah.
without a doubt. But yeah, are you gonna stay up, Max? And what network is that on?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't even aware of this. So thank
If
you
that's
for
a
bringing
fight
that
worth
up.
staying up with, then I might check it out.
Yeah.
I'll find a link. That's something Joe can always find a link. Hey, all
Did it
right.
this weekend, low key. But anyway, yeah, shout out to Comics Vet.
Hey,
Shout out to Derek somewhere out there in PA.
doing the groundwork.
Or ground reporter.
He's counting votes, man. Dude, did you know that some of the Trump supporters were trying to like
Dude,
stop the votes?
Dude, I don't want to get this video flagged.
All right,
I feel like
let's go.
if you say that word enough, people are so sensitive, dude. It's
True,
so
true, true.
crazy. Like, that's why I think it's silly, this whole political stuff. That's why I don't pay attention to it anymore. But people are so into it. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
They lose sleep over this. They stress over this.
Mm-mm.
And I
I'm
would
not
say
listening.
rightfully so, because it does affect you, even though most of the time it really doesn't. But I don't know, dude. People are so like caught up in
Yeah.
blue against red. I feel like this is the East Side Long Beach over there. These
Right.
guys fighting for colors, But
That's
anyway,
true. To me, it doesn't matter who's in office. You guys decide your own success. That's it. All right. What did
Sean
they say?
says except to mail stuff, couldn't find a link for that. That's why I didn't mail it.
Man.
I couldn't mail in the vote because I couldn't figure out how.
Ah, okay. Can you email your vote now?
I know. Can I
Shit.
somehow digitally can I do it?
If Devin
That
Haney
mail
can,
stuff is kind of ancient, bro. Like that sounds like you're
Right.
telegraphing stuff,
If Devin
like this-
Haney can get a title through email, bro, I think I could send my vote in.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
That's
Did you guys watch last night's boxing? I did not. Did you?
Mm.
I heard about it, but no. You know what? Honestly, more recently, I try to stay away from boxing. Like, I feel like because we go to so many gyms and we do so many podcasts and do all these interviews that I'm just like,
A little burned
I'm
out.
kind of like the boxers, dude.
Right,
Like
yeah,
when
yeah.
I get home,
Yeah.
I don't want to put on boxing, man. I've been
You need to check it out a
editing
little bit.
videos all day. Like, I want to find other stuff to do. Which there's not a lot to do nowadays.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
NBA's over.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Champions League are like once every, 3 weeks? Shoot. Your brother comes at you like, yo, did you watch this fight? You're like, man, I'm done. I'm done.
For what?
No, like when like somebody comes like, yo, did you watch this? Like, dude, I don't want to hear it no more. Yeah, check
I
out.
didn't even watch the Munguia fight, dude. I'm just like, I was like, whatever. I'll save all my energy for tomorrow.
For real. Yeah.
Our judge is scoring the Haney fight via email.
Shit.
I know. Sean says the guy with the boxing show. I know. We're bad examples.
We're bad examples.
Soon enough, we're going to be like, don't get your boxing news from us.
For real. Hey.
No, but yeah, I feel like sometimes I got to take a break from it. I'm just like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't read any of the boxing comments, none of the stuff on Twitter. I try to stay away from the YouTube comments and the Facebook and all that stuff because, I don't know, man. You see a lot of interesting comments on there, and I don't know. I try to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Did y'all talk about Rings pound for pound rankings? Did you catch that list, Chris? Ring Magazine's?
The rings, I think I wrote it down here somewhere.
I think it's Ring Magazine, right? Because they also have Ring TV, which is kind of separate. But
Yeah.
I know they had Canelo 1, they had Crawford 2, they had Inoue 3,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have it here.
and the rest I don't remember, actually. I can pull it up. But I'm not a big fan of pound for pound lists, honestly.
To me,
I don't know how people like judge that stuff, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just like favorites. Like, I still don't understand how Crawford is up there, like, this whole time. I mean, we just talked about political stuff, right? Like, I don't know if people just ignore the political side of boxing, but I guess if Disney tells you so many times that Crawford should be up there, then people are like, all right, he's gonna be up there. And watching a year or so, everyone's gonna be like, Inoue, top pound for pound, right? When everybody's doubting him now, soon enough, after ESPN tells you for the 1,000th time that he's up there, I guarantee you people are gonna have him up there. Loma dropped to 7th. His comments said. I feel like a lot of people are putting him down there. 7th.
like 6 or 7.
Yeah. I feel like, and the argument against him is he only has 14 wins, and now he has 2 losses. So, yeah, like somebody like, let's see, I guess someone like Canelo who has 50 something wins and only 1 loss, like that looks a lot better than 14-2, right?
Yeah.
And of course, people are gonna ignore all the good opponents that Lomachenko beat.
Well, yeah, I mean, Canelo was beaten. He wasn't beaten up, but he was just beaten convincingly by Floyd. But this was what 20? What was it? It's like 7 years ago, dude. So it's like people forget. This is a more recent defeat to Loma. So yeah, but to me, like I don't. When I see, obviously, when you see pound for pound rankings, you get the ESPN, the box recs, and then the commissions. You know, I think the Ring is like maybe the most credible because they try to find a balance. Yeah. They don't really answer them. I mean, I don't know. I think Golden Boy owns them now, right? But they try to stay as impartial as possible, and they do have their own set of rules and how they go about ranking. I think they're the most credible. Again, no one's perfect. Nothing is 100%, and again, it's subjective, objective, whatever. Yeah. But I think they're the most credible. So if they have
and then Jess says, well, Canelo has 4 times his record. Yeah, and he also has as many knockouts as Crawford has wins. So it's just like when people try to rank Crawford ahead, it's just like.
But how many gold medals does Canelo have?
Right? The Jalisco Youth Championship gold medal.
Man, no, Canelo.
I still don't understand the argument for Crawford.
Canelo's undisputed. Like, he's not undisputed, but I don't think anybody can knock that. He's number 1.
Do you think he'll fight? I think we ask this every freaking week.
He's going to fight.
Do you think he's going to fight by the end of the year?
I don't think so.
It's already November.
He's sparring Sean Garcia, bro. Like,
yeah. He still has He's still like training and everything.
Yeah, he's training.
He looks in shape, but
I don't see it, dude. Like, and you would think he would want to fight. Like, it's a pandemic. He's the type that wants to give people like happiness. Like, I don't think he's in.
The comics that does say Canelo's undisputed number 1. Yeah. I feel like he's been for a while, but I mean, hey, ESPN doesn't want to hear that. But at this point, I want to see him fight anybody. I don't care who it is. I know if he fights just any random dude, people are going to be like, again, this and that. But it's just like, you can't fight A or B level fighters your whole career. That's like, nobody has ever done that in history, right? And I feel like he's been fighting very good opponents. Why not fight another Rocky Fielding?
At this point,
and then next year be like, all right, bring it back. Hopefully there's fans next year, and then you can make a big a big fight.
I think at this point people would be happy just to see him in the ring. But yeah, next year he has to come back and. But again, I think we've mentioned like we don't see anybody in and around like that can really test him like competitively. The only one that would is like is way bigger than him in Beterbiev.
Yeah, but I feel like in his weight classes, you know, maybe Benavidez, Callum Smith, the 68 guys who are a little bigger than him, and then I guess the other British dude. I don't even want to say his name anymore. It's just like, fuck that guy. Yeah, but I guess that would be an interesting fight. But I said at the beginning of the zone contract, a lot of people are going to complain because there's just no more A-level fighters for Canelo, man. And, you know, people are just going to complain, man. I guess Triple G again, but do we really want to see that again? I guess it'll be cool just because Triple G is still a big name. But, I mean, judging by his last couple fights and then judging by the second fight, I'm just like...
Yeah. He needs to come, like, with the second win,
bang.
Energized. And
so Jess says, Crawford's not fighting the Brit. Yeah, and then Comics Vet says, I wouldn't be surprised if Kell Brook beats Crawford. I think Kell Brook hasn't been relevant since, Spence beat him?
Since Spence?
When was that, 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, because, I mean, people kind of...
Wait, who beat him first?
Triple G.
But he was smaller. Let's be fair to him.
He went up to 160.
You know, I don't like the British...
That's crazy.
Overhyping their fighters, but I feel like the Spence win was legit.
Yeah.
But, you know, Crawford is a little bigger than him. And that fight is coming up on the 14th. Of course, Ray Murataya is going to be on the undercard. Neno Rodriguez is going to be on that undercard as well. Both of them are friends of the show. So is that going to be PPV or regular?
Which one? The
Crawford.
I think it's
Brook.
pay-per-view.
Come on, man.
I think I might be wrong.
It shouldn't be. If Lopez wasn't, then that shouldn't be. I mean, Crawford sold like 5,000. Crawford sold like 5,000 pay-per-views, man. ESPN's number one pound-for-pound fighter sold, what was it, like 20,000 pay-per-views against Khan?
Yeah.
Like, come on, dude.
Damn.
He gave Triple G a fight.
I think Kell Brook is going to come. He's going to give him a fight. I think Crawford's just going to break him down. He's like one of the best switch fighter. Southpaw, orthodox. Don't yawn, bro. Do not yawn.
That was a legit
yawn. I didn't do it on purpose. It was just great timing.
Yeah.
And I know
I'm not talking about that fight, bro. I've been boycotting this guy until he fights somebody.
I know you said you would give him credit until he fights like one of the top welterweights in
Errol Spence.
Errol Spence?
Yes.
Sean Porter?
Sean Porter too.
Danny Garcia?
Yeah, but
And
if Spence wipes him out, then hey, Danny
he's
Garcia.
goods.
Yeah, he's on that borderline right now. I know
like
Comics Bet will have a lot to say about this, but I still feel like he's a big enough name at the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Where if he somehow manages to beat Errol Spence, his name is going to be up there again.
Yeah.
Right? Because Errol Spence is the number one welterweight. And check this out. If Danny Garcia beats Errol Spence, he's the number one welterweight in the world right now. Yeah. Keith Thurman is kind of out of the equation. I don't know what's going on with him. Crawford still does not want to fight anybody in the top 10. So
would you give him
think
credit?
by default.
Would you give him credit?
Derek is here. Yo, what's up? Shout out to PA.
Tell him to give us the update on what's going on over there. What's going on with the votes?
You hear any noise outside or is it
looting?
Pretty calm in your neighborhood?
Do you give Terrence Crawford if he beats Manny? Would you give him credit if he beats Manny?
Nah, dude. No, because I think Manny's pushing it, man. I feel like he's a tremendous athlete, and that's the only thing keeping him right now in the game. But he was, 40?
Yeah.
Like, even the wins against Adrien Broner and Keith Thurman, if he's in his prime, he knocks him out, you know. And with these guys, he had to go 12 rounds. Broner, he didn't really hurt him. And then Keith Thurman, he didn't really hurt him either. He dropped him one time, but he got right up. That was early on in the fight. So I think Manny's he's pushing it. He's trying to see how far he can go. But that father time, man, like I said, Manny's a tremendous athlete, but it's going to catch up to him sooner or later.
For me, like, I know Terrence has to step it up. He's not super young anymore. He's 33. You know, he's 33, so it's like it's got like 2-3 years of, you know, to make these big fights and to kind of make money.
We spent so much time on Crawford. That's crazy.
Hey,
How do we even get to this? I don't know.
pound for pound.
But yeah, that was Munguia, the zone.
Yeah.
Nothing to. I think Jared Anderson won in the undercard of ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered the heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was nothing much major on those undercards. So that was Munguia.
Mikaela Mayer became
Mikaela Mayer, that's right.
yeah, vacant belt, but
Yeah, I did watch that fight.
I didn't see that fight. How was that?
It was an interesting fight. Her opponent got, I believe, a couple points deducted for low blows.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just it was cool. It was cool, but then the deductions and Mikaela Mayer just fought a solid fight and won. She did what he had to.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing major in that one.
Nothing major. Okay.
The low blows were interesting though. Oh no, it was holding. Now that I remember, it was a lot of holding, and the referee was just not having it. He's like, "Stop holding." All right, minus one.
Anything memorable, like post-fight speech from her that you remember?
I think she had a very awkward speech with her trainer. I don't know. It was just
Really?
weird
Mm-hmm.
because she
tell.
didn't get her belts. Like she kept asking for her belts.
Oh shit! Like, where my belts?
Like they didn't give it to her. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I guess they just kept them backstage, but she didn't get her belts.
What?
Yeah,
Man,
so it was kind of awkward.
Have them ready, man. Shit, you had one job. Okay, so she's a champ now. I know she's a big influence to right hook Roxy, and so I mean that's just motivation for her to keep working hard and be up there one day. So
Yeah,
yeah,
Mikaela Mayer, very interesting fighter. We'll see how she develops and defends this title.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was that. And let's stay on women's boxing for a little bit, man, because let me pull up the images here. There was some interesting stuff, man. I know we mentioned Deontay Wilder earlier, and there was some interesting stuff that happened in Mexico. La Barbie Juarez against La Cobrita Luna. So this was a title fight as well. So Luna won. She was a younger fighter. As she was giving her post-fight interview, as you guys see the images here on your screen, La Barbie Juarez interrupts and accuses her of having something in her gloves.
No, are you serious?
She accuses her. She says, the BS stuff that everyone says. I don't want to take credit away from you, but she has something in her gloves, hand wraps or something. She says, I've been boxing for a long time. I know what I'm feeling right now, and that wasn't normal. She said she wanted to quit during the fight, but her heart kept her in the fight. And this young girl, Luna, she was kind of like shocked. And I think before the interview, I think La Barbie Juarez had told the commissioner something, the ref, and they took her opponent's gloves and her hand wraps, and they were kind of checking her, and she kind of started crying because she was just like, "What the hell? I just beat you! Like, why are you accusing me of all this stuff?" And La Barbie Juarez had her face kind of bruised up, and but yeah, they took the gloves and the hand wraps, and I don't think they found anything, but everyone was kind of pissed off about that because she had just got beat and beat pretty good. And she was accusing her opponent of tampering with her gloves and or hand wraps. And her face was bruised. But, I mean, I don't know. That was
crazy. I mean,
like on the spot. I don't know. That was interesting.
I mean, I in a way, like if there's like suspicion of cheating and you think there's like they're tampering with the gloves, that's something that maybe you do have to like get at that moment because they're gonna go away and then that's evidence and it's gone. And we've had some of this. We've talked about this with Shea Mosley and we've had on the ring director
Eric Drath.
We talked about this, and if Nassim Richardson does not go for those gloves in there, he would have gone away with it. And they were able to collect that, and then
and even people talked about the Gervonta gloves that he switched out before the fight. Which I don't know. I think that was an interesting point. Yeah. But to me, if the commission signs it off, you would think that everything is legit, right? We talked with the director and producer of Assault in the Ring, Mr. Eric Drath, when we had him on the podcast, and we talked about these things. How there's different rules in place now that kind of make it harder for you to get away with those type of things. Yeah. So I don't know, man. To accuse somebody of that, I feel like you gotta have concrete evidence.
No pun intended.
I just got it. I don't think there was any evidence in this case other than saying, "Oh, look, my face is swollen or bruised
Yeah.
up." So I don't know. It was crazy because her opponent, like Obrita, was kind of tearing up at the end,
That's
like saying, like, "What the hell? Like,
How
I don't
can you-
deserve this and this and that." But
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was crazy. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
To me, like if you're gonna accuse somebody, also have like, the character to apologize when the things come out and if you were wrong. So she
Yeah.
kind of like ruined her moment.
And you can
that
ruin
was-
her reputation too.
Yeah.
Like I can understand like the in the case of Louis Resto,
Yeah.
like Billy Collins Jr., his father actually pointed out the gloves and told the referee like, "Hey, there's something wrong with this, right?"
Mhm.
But in this case, she interrupted the whole interview and accused her in front of everybody, right? Even after telling the commission and all that. So I think that was a little extra, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an ongoing investigation. As far
Yeah.
as I know, they didn't find anything.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I want to see. I'm gonna kind of do some research on this and see what developments there's been. But dang,
Yeah.
if there was nothing, no tampering, you just messed up some girls like night. And so man, I hope you have the character to apologize and take your loss if it was a legitimate loss. Take it as it comes. And
It's interesting because I just put up the Deontay Wilder images as you were saying that. So it sounds like you're talking about him. If someone's
Well,
just happening to tune in right now.
I am in a way.
But
Yeah, so
yeah,
let's talk about
let's
that.
move on to that
Yeah.
one. Deontay Wilder's just, I don't even know what word to use to describe this. Like, it's like Tyson Fury's ring entrance and his song, right? the intro song, Crazy.
Crazy.
Right? He's going crazy. He's accusing everybody. He's accusing Tyson Fury. He's accusing the commission. He's accusing the ref. He's accusing his own trainer.
Yeah, he's accusing the suit.
The soup, poor soup, nothing to do
Yeah.
with it. But he's accusing everybody.
Yeah.
What do you make of this? I'm gonna try to pull up the audio.
If there's one excuse, like, but like do like back to back different excuses, like when one gets defunct, you come up.
Hey,
with
he's not even
another one.
consistent. He's making up new ones. Huh?
Dude, it's just I heard that he was one was the
Oh.
gloves, right? That the gloves were just not,
Teddy Atlas
Yeah.
on Wilder's new accusation.
There was another one. I guess he said that they had like egg weights inside the gloves or something like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
we had like that's like little pounds of that you have in your arm just to practice shadow boxing and stuff. And it's like, how are you gonna have that? Like, there's no way like
The Bible
Tyson,
tell us that.
can have that much weight like on him all fight. So, dude, I think that's a bad look for him. Like, just excuse after excuse to just own up to your loss. And there's a way to still market a trilogy fight if down the road you have that natural power. And so I don't know, dude. I'm getting tired
Yeah,
of
let
playing
me-
with these excuses. That's
Let me connect this and see if we can play it for you guys.
yeah. To me, that's not worthy
But
of a
my ears
champion.
can still hear, and my
You didn't get
eyes
to become a
still
champion with
see.
excuses. You
The
worked
Bible
hard.
also tells us
whether
when you switch
adversity.
to hear,
Oh, you can't hear it, huh?
slow to speak.
Dang it.
You see, what you don't understand.
You guys at home could hear this?
What you did is what my people deal with all the time. Someone cheating them from providing their greatness into the world. But it's a burden that we cut off only to make us stronger. I saw in the first fight where Ricky Hatton was pulling down your gloves to put your fist in the improper position. Y'all tried the same method the second time.
All right, let me play it out loud for you so you can hear it.
Out of my ears, which caused my ears to bleed. It's impossible for a brand new 10-ounce glove to bend, to keep a smushed in form, or to have loose space. I hardly believe you put something hard in your glove. Something the size and the shape of an egg weight. It's the reason why the side of my face swelled up in an egg weight form. And it left a dent in my face as well. But in the midst of it all, you still couldn't keep this king down. You would have had to kill me. In the end, it took a crab in the bucket referee and a disloyal trainer to throw the towel in just to stop.
Disloyal trainer.
Proverbs, the 6th chapter, 31st says, excuses may be found from a thief who steals because he is starving. But if he is caught, he will have to pay back 7 times.
All right, you
what he
lost me
stole.
now. All right, so that. What do you think about all this, man? He's accusing his.
Did he
his
put the
trainer?
Did he put the sad music in the background?
I believe so.
Jeez. He said he's accusing his trainer of stopping of being in cahoots. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, and then he fired him, called him
Wow.
disloyal.
That's the
I
one.
mean, and then he said he spiked his water. I saw another comment where he said that his trainer spiked his water, and
Yeah.
that's why he didn't have his
Legs, right?
legs under him.
Jesus.
I mean, I think that's the worst one
Mhm.
because that's full conspiracy theory right there.
Yeah.
That's not even like.
Yeah. To me, let me just talk about how I saw the fight. I saw the fight. Him getting rocked. He was never in the fight after he got rocked. He was hurt, stumbly legs. I think even early on I was like, they should stop the fight already.
Yeah.
But he's a warrior. His trainer kind of let him keep going. Everybody around him kind of let him continue. And then so that the round where the coach finally stops it, I think he did the right choice in stopping the fight because he was looking out for his fighter's health. Even when that Deontay would have gone out there on a shield and he would have gone out and gone knocked out, then for the fight to be stopped. So to me, just seeing from the outside, I don't know their personal relationship. I don't know if they had a fallout or whatever, or if it was a rocky. But what I saw was a trainer stopping, keeping his fighter from receiving any more
Saved him.
punishment. Yeah. So I'm like, how can you say that he was in cahoots? That guy, that's the one guy that protected you. The ref didn't stop it. The commission, the doctors didn't stop it. Your trainer's the one that stopped the fight, and he saved you from receiving any more punishment. Because Tyson Fury, this was not the same Tyson Fury in the first fight. He was on the front foot, and he was attacking, relentlessly, and stuff. And so, So that's me seeing that perspective from an outside person without knowing them personally or, knowing what's going on. I'm just calling it how I see it. It was a trainer protecting his fighter from receiving any more punishment. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's entertaining,
It's entertaining.
but I don't know. Somebody go check up on Deontay, man. What do you think, Derek? It says tinfoil hat Wilder activated, and Derek, he was a Deontay Wilder fan. I don't know what this does to a Deontay Wilder fan. Just kind of pushing you away, oh man, this is too much, too many excuses.
Yeah,
he sounds like the guy in the red corner. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, from the first fight, most observers know that he lost that first fight.
All right, good question here.
And a lot of people were in denial. He was in denial, and so this fight, there's too many excuses.
So Gonzalo's asking, do you guys think Wilder got too much brain damage from the beating, or has he always been that delusional? I feel like he's just delusional, man.
Yeah, I think he's just delusional. I think all that
Because even after the first fight, he was saying that he got robbed and stuff, even though he clearly lost, and he was saying that the ref couldn't count and this and that.
Yeah.
Derek says not anymore, man. It's hard to keep defending someone like that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To
me, I think him getting all these knockouts, which is that's a feat in itself. Getting that, knocking out every single opponent that you fought up until Tyson Fury. I think he started getting delusional. He started believing his own grandeur and his power, and because if you know boxing, you know that Deontay Wilder is limited in his boxing ability, so he's very dependent on just that power. And I think that got to his head. And then when he, came up against a force that, was not going to take no for an answer, that was going to beat him in the boxing game and then beat him to the punch. He couldn't take it the first time, and then boom, gets, destroyed in the second fight. And I think his just that delusion of grandeur just doesn't let him.
He
see
might
past
still
that.
have a concussion. He might have got a long concussion.
Yeah, so.
But I mean, I don't know. That's all I have on that. I thought it was funny, and I don't know. I feel like he's just making himself a walking meme now.
Yeah, to me,
In my opinion.
he's in the top 3, top 4. He's got that power. He doesn't need to be doing all these excuses to try to get a rematch. In a way, I credit him for bringing Tyson Fury out of like retirement. He's the one that motivated him. Like when Tyson was down and out, and he called him out, and you know, So like I think we need to see that Deontay that doesn't resort to these kind of excuses. He's a grown man. Again, he was a champion, former champion, and so he got there, through hard work. And I think he needs to go back to that. Like all these excuses, I mean, it makes for we're talking about it, but
That's that. I don't want to spend too much time on it.
yeah, if he wants to
I
regain
thought it was just funny, so I
yeah,
decided why not play the clip for you guys. But that's that, and then I think there's a good segue into another fighter who also suffered some injuries.
That's
Alex
right.
Salcedo, right, who decided to retire. Reportedly, he had 2 brain bleeds in his fight against Arnold Barboza. And if you guys have watched Alex Salcedo fight before, it's damn near war every single time.
Yeah.
So they were able to detect some issues there, some brain bleeds, and he decided to retire, man. Good thing they caught it in time. And, wish him the best, man. We wish him the best. Hopefully he finds something, another passion, right, now that he doesn't have boxing. But I think the positive thing about this is that they found it in time, before it got even more serious.
That's a scary thing about it. Like if they don't see it, he's a warrior, he's a fighter. He would have been back in the gym training for this next bout. He would have taken it as like, oh, you know what, I lost this fight, but I'm gonna get back and get another chance and fight. And maybe that fight would have been, one of those fights where he takes more damage and you get a brain clot and all that. So it's very tough to have to retire, give up a sport that you love, that you worked at like your entire life. But it's probably the best decision for his life, and he's still young. He could do a lot of things. Whether it's go back to school, whether it's, do something in boxing, as a trainer, whatever. It's better, like you said, Gio, that they caught it in time, and because, like you don't play boxing. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Alex Salcedo, man. Alex Salcedo, who was a top contender at 140, now retiring. Nothing left but to wish him the best, man.
Yeah.
Representing OKC.
We saw him a lot at the Churchill gym in Santa Monica when we go and cover, and so he was always working hard, and he's a good kid. He did some sparring with Ray Morataya right before this fight, and they said nothing but good things about him. Robert Garcia talks about him as well on his show, and nothing but good things to say about Salcedo. So yeah, again, we wish him the best. Still a very young guy. He can do a lot of things with his life, and I'm sure his family, are happy that they caught this on time. We've heard of fighters that they're not so lucky, and so it's like you said, it's good that they caught it. His family could still enjoy him for many more years, and he could still live a full life. So
Yeah, and then we kind of mentioned the Adrien Broner jailed again. Yeah, we mentioned that a little bit.
About bars.
About bail. Povetkin tests positive again, this time for the virus, not for the PEDs as he's used to taking.
Yeah.
But Max says it's a scary subject. Francisco Esparza retired not too long ago due to the same reason. Yeah, man, it's a dangerous sport, and that's why no matter what, we got to put respect on these fighters' names, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Getting hit in the head 100 times every time you fight, almost. Like, it's a scary thing, man. It's a scary thing. But, yeah, moving on from that, Deontay, we went over that. Broner jailed. Povetkin fight canceled. And I did read that Chisora,
Wants to jump in.
yeah, he wants to fight Dillian White now. So, interesting. This guy does not back down from anybody.
Shoot.
And then talking about positive tests as well, Miguel Berchelt tested positive. So that fight in December is postponed or canceled. We'll see. Man.
I know Shakur Stevenson threw his name in that fight.
Of course.
Yeah. I see it.
But, man, that sucks. I really wanted to see this fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been talking about it, and dang, it sucks. We're not going to get it. We're not going to get it this year at least. Yeah. And then I think the last topic here is the Long Beach boys.
That's right.
So the boys from the 6 of them this time from the Long Beach Jackrabbit Boxing Academy had their fights in Tijuana, Mexico. Was streaming it live. Some of you guys were tuned in. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to who was there. Jesus was there. Comics Vet was there. You guys are tuned in, and we're talking about some of the fights on Saturday as well as it was happening live. The Usyk one, and then the Inoue one was about to start around that time, and then Chris was out there in Tijuana. All the fights are now on YouTube in high definition if you guys want to check them out. But Long Beach went 6-0 once again, and I'm gonna go through the list just real quickly. Lawrence King got a KO. Lawrence, who's original head coach, is Ryan Garcia's dad, actually, Henry Garcia. But he's fighting at Long Beach now, the Jackrabbit Gym. Lawrence King, super middleweight, got a KO. Javion Cardinal, the professor, we had him on the podcast last week. He's 6 feet 5 inches tall, very, very tall. He fights at middleweight. Got a KO, 2-0 now. Nemo, Nehemiah Williams, another KO stoppage. Fights at welterweight. He is 2-0 now. Anthony Hess, of course, he won by unanimous decision. He fights at 126, right?
Yeah,
Still?
126.
I know they're trying to get him to fight lower because he's like 5'5", 5'4".
Yeah, you can make that one.
But he has a big frame, so I know he likes those higher than 122. He likes 126, but I know they're trying to convince him to go down. He's 4-0 now. Charles Lolo Harris won by KO. He fights at 126 as well. He's 2-0. Very interesting fighter. You guys should keep an eye on him. Like I said, the full fights are on YouTube. And fun fact, he did beat Ashton Silva in the amateurs, so he's very, very skilled, man. I was very impressed by his performance.
Yeah, and also like I was out there, and dude, I got to. So you told me about Lolo. I've been at work most week. You've been able to get some coverage of them in the gym. And I remember you telling me like, oh, keep an eye on Lolo, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Lolo, okay, cool. We'll see who it is. Dude, that kid, I think not just his skills inside the ring, but just his discipline, his ear for listening to his corner is on point. And he's what, 17?
17? He just turned 17.
Young kid. I was telling Gio, like, I interviewed him post-fight, and he showed his age, very shy, still not very comfortable in front of the camera. But, man, that doesn't matter because the kid was comfortable inside that ring. Just poised, lots of skill, speed. Like I said, discipline, listen to his father, to his corner very well. It's like everything that his corner was saying, he was doing it, and then you saw the success that he had in that ring. And he was fighting a fighter that had fought one of the Jackrabbit boys, and he was able to make easy. I want to say easy work, but he had an easier time with his opponent than some of the previous fighters. And so, man, he's this kid. When you told me he beat Ashton, I was like, okay. And Ashton is probably like the cream of the crop of this group of guys. Ashton and I actually did some sparring with Leo, right? And don't want to say too much, but off camera. But he did some work there. But for Lolo for you to tell me that he beat him in the amateurs, I saw why. Because he was just lots of skill in this kid, very, very skilled fighter. Yeah. There's a reason why he came into the Jackrabbit stable. I mean, there's something brewing in that gym, and he wanted to be part of this, and he's a great addition to the boys. So great fighter.
So that 17-year-old Charles Lolo Harris improves 2-0, and of course, the headliner Ashton Silva improves to 2-0 with another KO. Looks strong again, looks solid, and man, can't wait to see how his career develops, man.
Yeah, no, Ashton's doing everything right, man, from the entrance to what he's wearing. If you guys check out that fight, very, very colorful, attire. All the boys had, they lived up to the theme of Halloween night, and so Ashton Silva, dude, and like too much skill. I know a lot of people were kind of giving him, crap for his power, but he's still 16 years old. He's gonna go into his power, and so can't wait to go back out there, man. It was a fun experience out there. I know you caught a little bit of the announcer, right?
Yeah, that guy's dope. I'm kind of disappointed you didn't invite him to the podcast.
You know what I was gonna get? I'll
let him do the intro, the outro, everything. The shout outs.
I wanted to get a little interview with him to give us a shout out, but he was in his mode. So I was like, I'm gonna let him be. I was in my mode.
He was working, man. He was working.
That guy was. do it. I think I saw him speaking in his normal voice. I was like, man, that's not how he speaks. Like, damn, this guy is really earning his buck. And so, man, that's the thing about, people that work out in Mexico, man. They really, really like got to earn their money, and they're passionate, man, passionate to the T. So yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Long Beach Jackrabbit Boxing Academy boys. Big congratulations to them once again. And they want to get back soon, right? I heard
Yeah.
December,
December.
something like that.
Yeah, so they mentioned December is maybe the earliest they'd want to get back there. If that doesn't happen, early January would be the day that they're targeting. But
Yeah, and then I just wanted to add, shout out to Coach Ivan Silva and Trevor Zambrano doing a great job. Boys look solid. And I also want to send a big shout out to Anthony Hez and Javion Cardinal.
Hey, there we go.
Big shout out to them. Of course, if you guys listened to the podcast last week, they announced their new podcast, Children of the Trenches podcast. That's coming soon. We're going to help them out, producing the show and all that stuff. So that's another interesting project that we have at hand. AtR Entertainment, right?
Hey,
That's the new thing that we've been pushing. More of the podcast production side of it. So that's coming up. Children of the Trenches. And they're going to touch on just general topics. They're going to stay away from boxing because you know how boxers are. They don't like talking about boxing. Soon enough, we're going to be like that, Chris.
no, for real.
We're gonna be like, we're not boxers, but we're tired of this shit. But yeah, that should be cool, man.
Man, yeah, no, that they're a fun duo. These guys have like chemistry like no other. Yeah, you guys, I would recommend you guys tune into that. When we bring that up, we'll link it up. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun project for Gio. That's gonna be producing that. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, that should be up next week, maybe. If you guys are interested in checking it out, man, that should be very, very fun.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. Before I get into my shout outs, I don't know if you want to add anything, Chris.
Now, to me, it was just a fun experience just being out there in Mexico, covering these guys. Again, these are the some of their first fights. Either it's their second fight or the third fight or their fourth fight. These are fights that the only way you can see them is through a stream. So shout out to Gio for putting that together. Via their stream. Not everybody could come out. People have to work, so it's very, it means a lot to the family and friends of these fighters for people to showcase their fights, either be it through stream or when we put it out in high definition days later. And so make sure to support these guys. They're up and coming fighters. Canelo was once 5-0. Not a lot of people got to see those fights, but we live in this era where you can see those fights now. So tune in. There's something brewing here in Long Beach, and these guys are amazing fighters, and can't wait to see what happens down the road for them.
Yeah, man, big shout out to them, and I think that's all I got. And before I send my shout outs, I just want to kind of repeat the message that I sent earlier in the broadcast. The super chat, the option should be available for you guys. I'm not too informed on how it works, but if any of you guys ever like donate money or send super chats on this live, all the money that we do get, we will be donating it. We know there's big tournaments coming up for the amateurs, so just know that any money that we make off the YouTube channel from now on, or from now until probably the end of the year, right? It's holiday season, so why not, give to we know that this year has been tough for a lot of people, and a lot of these parents are working very, very hard to try to get their children through these national tournaments, trying to get them to the Olympics and things like that. So any money that you guys do donate via this YouTube channel will be donated 100% of all the proceeds to to different amateurs. We know a few ones that we think are going to be the future of this sport. So just want to send that message out to you guys. Anything helps. I don't care if it's $1, 50 cents, anything helps, But before we get out, I do want to send some shout outs. Do you want to add anything to that, Chris?
No, just just to piggyback off Gio's sentiments. These fighters, they're either full-time students or they have full-time jobs. For example, one of the fighters that we know, he's a full-time electrician. He goes to work from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. He has like 30 minutes to commute, to eat, and then boom, he's at the gym, and it doesn't give you too much time. You go see your family for a couple hours, you go to sleep, and then you do it all again. So anything that you guys would donate, we're giving directly to them. just to keep them going, to keep them working and striving for their dream. So yeah, we know that the hunger is there for them.
Big
And
shout out
so-
to Sean, man. He's the first
Yeah.
donor. And Sean, I do want to hit you up one of these days because if there's any money that we can also donate to your foundation,
Yeah.
to the Just Boxing Foundation, I'm gonna put the name on the chat. If there's any way that we can also donate money to your foundation, we would love to do that. Like I said, from now until the end of the year, I personally, and I'm pretty sure Chris is with me, I want to donate all the money that we make from this. I know it's not going to be a lot, but anything that we can do to help, I mean, if we can help one person, then we're going to be happy with it.
Yeah.
Just Boxing Foundation. So that's the name too. If you guys want more info on that, you guys can hit up Sean on Instagram at Just Boxing Live, I believe is your Instagram, Sean.
Yeah, I think
Right?
that's it.
Just
That's
Boxing
right.
Live. Sean is not too active on there lately. That's why I kind of forgot it. And then there's also Just Boxing. I forgot the website, dude. Dang, write it on the chat. But yeah, you guys can hit up Sean for that. And yeah, we definitely want to donate money to the foundation as well. So shout out to Derek here, donating as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's cool, dude. I just want to like surprise people, be like,
yeah.
People donated this money and we want
Yeah, just
forward
spread
it
the
to
love
you,
and just
you know?
we know how hard they work, and Gio's out there getting content, and he's watching them spar, he's seeing them
It's
lift
tough, man.
weights. Andy Aguilar, he makes them work. He makes them work, and he knows what it takes for them to one day get to that title shot. And so these guys are working hard, whether it's running miles, sparring, whatever they gotta do, they're doing it. And so a little support will go a long way for them, and they appreciate each and every dollar that we're able to help them accumulate. So yeah, thank you guys for that support.
Yeah, and a lot of times I know they're kind of shy to ask or they feel bad asking people for help. So we do just want to kind of do that on our own. Just be like, hey, we got these donations. Here you go. Take it. It's all for you. So if you guys can help out, thank you very much. Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Sean. And like I said, Sean, we got to contact you because, if there's any donations that we can make to the Just Boxing Foundation, we'd love to do that as well. And then it's justboxing.org. Cool.
Okay.
All right, and then we got some shout outs as well. I want to shout out, of course, Puro Golpe. Make sure to show them some love. Official sponsor of the show, purogolpe.com. You guys can follow them at Puro Golpe. He also sponsors the Murataya brothers. Ray Murataya will be fighting November 14th on the undercard of Kell Brook and I forgot who else. But
Put some respect, dog. Unified champion.
Bud Crawford and Kell Brook, he will be on the undercard. Oh, and he also sponsors Nano Rodriguez, who will be on the undercard as well. So
He's fighting Cancio, correct?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I
think he
I
is.
don't know, dude. I'm kind
I
of.
think he is. They just haven't really promoted that. It's because Cancio still has to get his doctor's note.
Yeah. Big shout out to Against the Ropes. Sean reminded me to shout them out. So
Those guys.
shout out to. Oh, I want to send a big shout out to Andy Aguilar as well. If you guys can go, please subscribe to his channel. AGNB Sports, All Gas No Break Sports. AGNB Sports. I'm helping him put some content up on his YouTube channel. We know he has an elite stable fighters, and he has just a lot of content. And I kind of convinced him to why not just put some up there, put some teasers up there, right? I'm sure a lot of people have been hitting him up. A lot of boxers, a lot of MMA fighters. He has some MMA fighters as well. He's doing a great job, and he works all day, man. So trying to help out Andy as well. So subscribe to AGNB Sports. And then shout out to our guy Jorge Razo, man, the George Razo podcast, whom we also help produce, music podcast here in Long Beach, California. If you guys are into Mexican music, subscribe to our guy George Razo podcast. Of course, Children of the Trenches podcast, that's coming up soon.
That's coming up.
Yep, that's coming up. Should be up next week. And then shout out to all you guys who tuned in, man. You guys are probably watching TV, maybe the news, right? Y'all didn't even update us like what was happening, but I'm pretty sure nothing happened, right? None of the counting, like it seemed like people were just.
Nah, Derek said that his stay won't know till tomorrow, maybe, or the next day. They gotta make sure every vote is counted.
Yeah.
Derek's over there making sure.
I feel like by tomorrow we should have a pretty good idea. But regardless of who wins, you know, we should all be united, right?
Yeah.
It's the United States of America, all right? And Sean is asking, we're producing everyone's show. How do I get added to the stable? Dude, you're like, all you got to do is give us the green light and we'll somehow put you on. I mean, but you know how to do everything, though.
Yeah,
That's the
you
thing.
don't need
Like,
us.
I was trying to, like, think, how can we help him? But Sean knows more than us.
He
You know
does.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if
Sean,
you
you're
want to
the
sign
man, bro.
us, like if you want to be like like the rappers how they're signed to like 3 different people,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind signing to Sean, man. Shout out to Sean, yeah. Y'all gotta end with a grito. Dude,
Oh,
we've
who
done it
said this?
before.
I just lost my
Comics
voice right
bit.
when you said that. I swear.
Comics Vet says we gotta end with a grito. We've actually done it before
I know, but we don't do that in May.
on the Mexican Independence show with Alfonso Gomez and Pablo Cesar Cano. We all kind of did it, and it was pretty dope.
It was pretty
so-
good. You got to go back. It was like
Yeah.
episode what,
I don't know,
10?
man.
Episode 10 or something like that? Episode
Nah,
9?
dude, it was like episode 50.
Oh, the second time around. Yeah.
I think it was 52
Okay.
or 53. One of those, man. But yeah, also want to shout out Jess Paul Rodriguez. His son has been training out here in Long Beach, actually, with Alfonso Gomez. You guys can follow him at its__ Paul Rodriguez 1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, his son is what, 8 or 9 years old, and he's putting in work, dude. I see the improvement every single day, and it's cool to see his videos, and he's getting some lessons here with Alfonso Gomez. And like I mentioned, he's been going to Vegas too at Capetillo's gym, so that's pretty dope, man.
Yeah. People don't know it's not easy, man. Not just the fighters working, but the support system. They're driving miles.
Yeah.
Just driving from over there all the way over here, hour and a half drive, and then drive to Vegas. It's not easy. We know Julio, who's a up and coming, fighter. 17 years old, 17-time national champion. Driving 2 hours to come and do his running over here in Malibu.
And his dad works all day.
Training kids,
and then trains him during the evening. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of work being put out here. So, we definitely want to help people out this holiday season, man.
Yeah.
And Jess knows anything we can do for you and your son. Shoot, hit us up, man.
Hit us up, bro.
Yeah. All right, and I think that's it, dude.
Yeah, no, I think we tackled almost everything.
Yeah, that was what,
Yeah.
2 hours? Shoot,
Damn.
2 hours 15. Is this a record?
Could be, man.
Is this a record?
Might be.
Dang.
It's a pound for pound episode.
That's crazy.
It's up there.
Yeah, shout out to our
Sure.
boy Derek too. He always supports anybody who we talk about on this show or anybody who's a guest. We were talking about it last week, right, with Hez and Javion, because they got a follow from
him,
Derek too, and we're like, yeah, that's our boy, man, from PA. They got this.
Pennsylvania.
They got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's gonna come through just like Derek, bro. Watch.
All right, man. We're gonna get out of here. Thank you guys, man, for tuning in. We appreciate it a lot. We'll be back soon.
Peace.
Peace.
Michael, you already know I'm a fun guy.
Hola amigos, soy Juan Francisco Gallo Estrada. Quiero mandar un saludo para mis amigos de Contra las Cuerdas. Échenle muchas ganas, un abrazo, muchas bendiciones.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. You know what mine is? Let's box, bitches. It's almost fight night.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time on y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.